Is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you. Hello, is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you.
What are you doing?
Calling around to get the best rate on a car loan.
Why? Everyone knows Alcoa 10 is the best choice to purchase a vehicle or refinance your current loan. And with low interest rates and 90 days to your first payment, it's a no-brainer. You can even apply online and sign all the documents from the convenience of your home.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Alcoa 10 Credit Union. It's so easy. Go to atfcu.com for details. Rates are dependent on credit score and equal housing lender.
With smartphones being such an integral part of our daily lives, it is truly an inconvenience when it doesn't work properly. It disrupts the normalcy of our day. When you go into the cell phone store to have it repaired, they just try to upsell you on a new phone. That's why the owner of iDrop, T. Kell, left those places and opened iDrop. His goal is a happy customer. T. Kell and the team will listen to what you have going on and work to solve the problem of your broken device in a way that best suit your needs, instead of trying to upsell you on something that you just don't need. They don't just repair phones. They can service your laptop or PC as well as your Mac. Windows 7 support is over, but iDrop can help you transition to Windows 10. They have a 5-star rating on Google with hundreds of positive reviews. Let me say that again. I don't think y'all understand how big this is. They have a 5-star rating on Google. Their customer service really speaks for itself. So if you ever find yourself with a device that isn't performing as it should, give iDrop a call at 865-888-9740 or check them out on Facebook at iDrop of Knoxville. If man made it, they can fix it.
Deep down the middle's got his man, and he's gone. Jason Swain, touchdown.
It's time for the Swain Event with your host, Jason Swain.
My man.
Real sports talk for the real sports fan.
All you chumps are gonna bow when I whoop him.
It's time for the Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue.
Give me 2 rounds and a Ric Flair.
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America, 865-255-03. Ben McKee, Jason Swain. In your ear this morning, it is Monday, December the 6th. The best day of the week. It is the best day of the week. Live here at Beatty Chevrolet Parkside Drive. It's where you can find me. Over 150 vehicles in stock, lifetime warranty on most new and pre-owned vehicles. It is a beautiful day here in East Tennessee. The sun is rising. It is beautiful. As always, it's always orange for a reason. Ben, good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you?
Man, we got a lot of stuff to get to. I am great. I am great, man. Tennessee basketball showing out in Colorado, making us all proud. Tennessee football getting some love on Sunday Night Football, NBC, Football Time in America. I saw your video on Twitter, get numbers, Ben, because Rodney Harrison, now honorary VFL, showing love to his son on the broadcast. That's Christian Harrison, committed to Tennessee last week, and Tennessee got another commitment on the defensive side of the football. We have a ton of recruiting news that we need to get to, Ben, so we definitely going to do that after our first break here, and we got to get to it because recruiting is the most important thing to this football program. It's like that every single day in the SEC. Recruiting is more important than anything right now, so we want to make sure that we cover recruiting because there's a lot, and I mean there's a lot to get to, Ben, and there's not a better place to get that than VolQuest.com and right here with you. So we're going to do that. Ben, congratulations, man, on your Steelers getting that dub. Congratulations, man. That was a great game. Great finish. Going forward to win the game by Harbaugh and Steelers making the play to win. Just a really, really great game. Two teams that hate each other. But that's what NFL football is all about. We had conference championship weekend, and now the picture is clear of the 4 teams that will compete in the college football playoff. Ben, agree with those 4? Disagree with those 4? Or would you rather start with Tennessee basketball going out to Colorado and getting a big-time win. First road test of the season, and true freshman Kennedy Chandler put on an absolute show. Last week's touchdown turnover was, will Senti be the leading scorer? Or will someone else be the leading scorer? And that was true. That was a touchdown. And that was Kennedy Chandler because, boy, that dude was unstoppable. Where you want to go this morning, Ben?
Man, too many options. I guess we'll start with Tennessee basketball because Tennessee basketball is far more important than any team in the college football playoff, particularly two of the teams in the college football playoff. Just an absolute beautiful performance from Kennedy Chandler Swain. I mean, that was the Kennedy Chandler game. And 27 points, 2 points were incorrectly credited to him. He was credited for 2 free throws when somebody else shot the free throws. I can't remember whose free throws they were, but Kennedy Chandler finished with 27 points on 13 of 20 shooting, and he was just tremendous. Like I said a second ago, it was the Kennedy Chandler game. He's obviously played well this season, but that was his coming out party, Swain. First true road test, and he was built for it. And some of the statistics are pretty mind-blowing. Tennessee put these in their game notes following the win. Kennedy Chandler's 13 made field goals were the most by Vol during the Rick Barnes era, and that spans from 2015 to now. Think of all the great players who have come and played under Rick Barnes. Kennedy Chandler's 13 made field goals were the most by any of those players, which is incredible. And it's only, Game 6, Game 7 for Kennedy. And then Colorado, their starters were a combined 13 for 40.
Locking them down.
Kennedy was 13 for 20. Colorado's starters were 13 for 40. I mean, just ridiculous. So Kennedy was awesome. He what I loved most about him, Swain, is that he missed 2 early threes, and then he started attacking the rim. The high pick and roll with Folke was working to perfection. Just a really impressive outing from him. And then Josiah Jordan-James. He and Kennedy were the stories of the game for me. What Josiah did was super impressive. And you have to look past the 2 for 3 shooting and the 5 points. His value to this team far exceeds those scoring numbers. 9 rebounds,
That's right,
an assist, 4 blocks, 2 steals, the best plus-minus on the team with plus 22, and he really hasn't practiced a ton because of the torn ligaments in his middle finger on his left hand. He's just the absolute glue guy, and his leadership is just so valuable. So I thought he and Kennedy were the 2 stories of the game on Saturday.
Absolutely, man. Colorado's leading scorer leading up to the game was not Colorado's leading scorer against Tennessee. They had to find a new person to lean on because Walker, going into this game, was their guy. And Jabari Walker averaged 14 points per game, but he did not hit his average against Tennessee. He only had 10. Josiah Jordan-James and the Tennessee defense was a big reason why. And they had to lean on the guy that I don't think was really prepared to be the guy. When John Ferguson got the ball in the post, and they were kind of picking on Batty. I think it's Batty. They was picking on Batty.
A moose. That's what he was. A moose.
No, he was a buffalo. He was the mascot.
That's a good point too. He was a buffalo. Yes.
Yeah, he was the mascot, man. Big boy can move trees down there in the paint, but he's just so big, and Folke is so fragile. Any little touch to Folke is gonna make it look like he's throwing him out of the club. So he picked up some fouls back to back there, and wound up with 4. But I mean, he was Colorado's leading scorer down in the post. But man, just suffocating defense by Tennessee, creating deflections, and that's what it's about, man. Getting your hands in passing lanes, creating deflections. Saw Uros do that. Saw a couple of guys do that, and that ignited the fast break to the other side. Kennedy Chandler is one of the best guards in the country, no doubt about it, coming out of high school. But just his body control and his ability to finish around the basket, only being 6 foot, taking it to the chest of the defender, that's what made Saturday's game very, very impressive. I mean, he was taking it to the chest of the Buffaloes and finishing around the basket. Didn't matter if it was left hand, right hand. Did not matter if it was a big guy in front of him, a small guy in front of him. It did not matter. He was finishing. He was in his bag is what they like to say. But it was just a great performance by Tennessee. First true road game. And there were some times when, like we mentioned last week, that Colorado had some momentum. You know, they tried to cut into the double-digit lead, did that, and then Tennessee did a really good job of answering, extending it, always having an answer for Colorado's little run. I mean, when old boy dunked on us, it should have been an and one, and he dunked on us, that was the moment that Colorado had a chance to really straighten together some nice possessions and get the crowd back into it, because the crowd was waiting on it. They was waiting on reasons to get back in that game and get loud, but Tennessee did not give them opportunities. And that's a great test that Tennessee passed. Camwa played some really good defense, even though he had 3 points, but he had a block, just a fundamentally sound, great defensive play, not jumping into the offensive player jump. That's coaching. That is coaching right there. So, man, just a fun game, Ben. Just a fun game, man. Just good, nice weekend. Kenny Chandler good.
He is so good. I mean, like I said a moment ago, that high pick and roll with Folke was working to perfection. Obviously,
can't stop it.
Kennedy Chandler was having success at the rim, putting up points, but he also made some beautiful pocket passes to Folke, and Folke was able to pay it off as well. Took Folke a little bit of time to adjust to the Buffalo there in the paint, but I thought that was Folke's best game of the year. But man, if I was Folke, I would have been like, what did I sign up for? What did I come back for?
Dude's aggressive.
I came back for this.
We need to tranquilize this dude. This dude is strong and aggressive. Somebody tranquilize him so he can sit down and go to sleep.
And you know he's that guy that whenever you played pickup ball, there's always that one guy that tried to do too much and was always sweating too much, and you didn't want to defend him because he was sweating too much and just always grunting and doing too much. You know that was that Buffalo, that Beatty guy. That's what he is.
He's the guy that's bigger than everybody. And if you try coming to the paint, he's going to foul you, and he's going to tell you what you going to do about it. You going to do anything about it? And you say no, because you can't do anything about it because
you were too big.
He'll beat you up. So you hated playing with him. Like, man, I can't do no layups against him, man. He's going to foul you, and then he's going to threaten to beat you up if you say anything about it. Hate playing with dudes like that, man. Just a Debo on the court. But, Folke was crafty in some of his moves, but, man, that dude's strong.
Yes. And Folke's always struggled with those more physical, much stronger guys throughout his career. So I was kind of worried about that going into the game when I realized just how big that dude was. But I thought Folke adjusted well over the course of the game. I thought he played really well in the second half. Had some nice passes, had an and one, if I remember correctly, and had some really tough baskets, had a big dunk. That was fun. I heard you mention Olivier Camwa as I was answering the phone or finished answering the phone, and I loved the sequence of him missing the three and then getting back on defense and coming up with a big block shot and then being able to pay it off on the other end with an and one. I loved that sequence from Olivier. I don't know that he's just going to be some guy that gives you 10 and 8 every game or 10 and 10 or whatever.
That's okay.
It would look pretty in the box score, but you can tell that he's taking a jump this offseason.
Yes, sir. That's right. How about the Lady Vols, man? Still undefeated, coming back from behind against Virginia Tech. I mean, Tennessee was outscored there in the first quarter. Tennessee was able to get the advantage in the second quarter, but man, going into the fourth quarter, Tennessee was down, and they went on a nice run, wound up scoring 25 points, their most in any quarter of the game, and came away with a 64-58 win. And Kelly Harper is undefeated, 8-0, 11th ranked Volunteers, and Jordan Walker was in her bag. Man, she had such a beautiful shot. She playing with great confidence, and I mean, she played 39 minutes and was Tennessee's leading scorer. Alexis Dye, the transfer, man, love her play down in the post. She had 7 rebounds, 8 points. And Tamara Key is going to be swatting everything out of there with her presence. So, Lady Vols, man, they're doing this without their best player.
Without one of the best players in the country.
I mean, C-Mac. Ray Burrell, man, she's out. And Tennessee is doing this.
C-Mac was too busy hanging with Urosh this weekend.
I know, man. C-Mac took pictures with everybody, man. He was – all he needed was a nice freestyle, man, and he'll be all set to go, man.
How about Urosh showing out for C-Mac there?
He did. He did his thing.
The offensive rebound, the big slam.
He did his thing,
Look
man.
at Urosh showing out, running the floor.
I thought he was going to get a technical, man. He was hanging on the rim a little too long, but I'm for it. I loved it.
Oh, Urosh, no, you should have seen there was one time at the end of the game where Urosh was standing up on the bench, and you could barely see him in the TV shot, and he was, like, pointing. Oh, it was at the Buffalo. He was, like, clapping, like, in his face after he picked up his 4th foul, and was, laughing at him, mocking him, like, doing a mock clap, a golf clap on the sideline, like, directly at the big Buffalo. And I was just like, oh, Urosh is going to start a brawl at some point this season or get teed up or double teed and get ejected. That is 1,000% happening. I guarantee you by the time conference play, we've got some big basketball games coming up. You got Memphis' sorry butt coming to Nashville, and that's going to be an intense game. Arizona a couple of days before Christmas. You got Bama at the end of the month before New Year's to start SEC play. I guarantee you in one of those games, Urosh picks up a tech. Texas Tech tomorrow night in Madison Square Garden. 4 big-time basketball games this month. I guarantee you Urosh picks up one tech.
Yeah, we're not necessarily built for confrontation. Our team's not built full of guys that
Urosh is built for it.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
He's from Serbia.
I don't know, man. I don't know if you want to mess with the Buffalo.
He's got that Jokic brothers in him.
I don't know. Well, I mean, if he got that in, then somebody's gonna get club punched from the back. Cause that's how the Jokic brothers get down. Catch you slipping, catch you when you're not looking. Come over the back, come over the side of your head when you're not looking. That's what Jokic would do. But man, just a fun weekend for Tennessee fans. Again, Lady Vols, congratulations to them. Undefeated 8-0. Tennessee men's team getting a nice win on the road. Football team didn't have to play, just sit back and kind of watch some of the other teams compete. And it makes you kind of realize how serious Tennessee's football schedule really was. Pittsburgh, ACC champions. Look at Ole Miss. They're going to the Sugar Bowl, their best season in program history, and Tennessee was right there, a chance to beat them. And the 2 teams that will be competing for college football playoff played the SEC championship game, and Tennessee played those guys as well. Just a lot of reminders how tough Tennessee's schedule was. And Heupel and company still able to go out and win 7 games, and now have a chance to win 8 against Purdue in the Music City Bowl. But we will get to that. Let's get to the phones, and then we'll take our break here. Hunter, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning, Hunter.
One quick thing. Do we know how long Ray Burrell is out for?
We do not. We just know it's a knee.
Okay. Gotcha. I know props to the Lady Vols. I know when Ray Burrell went down, I thought they was going to lose at least a couple of games up to this point. So, but they're fighting. They're showing that fight. Also, on the starting 5 with the boys team, the men's team, what y'all think about instead of Kumwa and Bailey starting to put in Powell and Johnson? Or James. I'm sorry, James.
I mean, I think Josiah is going to be the starting lineup. I just think he wasn't because he hasn't practiced that much and didn't know how he's going to fare with his injuries and all that stuff. But I think he's going to be back in the starting lineup. I like Powell coming off the bench because he provides, some energy. He provides that shooting off the bench. I don't mind him not starting as long as his minutes are more than Bailey's right now. Ben?
Yeah, I know. And with Barnes, it doesn't ever matter with him who starts. It's about who finishes the game.
Exactly.
So, all right, boys, y'all have a good day.
Thank you, man. You too. You too, Hunter. Thanks for the phone call. Really, really appreciate you giving us a shout. Yeah, with this team, now I think Josiah needs to be in that starting lineup, and I think he'll, build his conditioning back. But it don't really matter to me between Powell and Bailey who starts. I just think that Powell right now is playing better. He can shoot it a lot better. He's shooting with confidence. So that's how I feel today. That might change next week depending on how those guys play.
Yep. As long you hit the nail on the head for me in terms of Justin Powell. As long as he is getting more minutes than Victor Bailey Jr., I'm good.
Yeah, that's how I'm looking at it.
And he started to get more minutes, didn't necessarily take advantage of those minutes until late in the game. He had two big threes, or was it one big three? I can't remember off the top of my head. He had a big three late in the game. He had 1 3. He was 1 of 6 on the day, 1 of 8. And the three that he did hit was significant there in the second half. But I didn't think that he was having his best game kind of until that shot. So I was glad to see him get more minutes than Victor Bailey Jr. Powell finished with 28. Victor finished with 14. I thought that Powell was finally getting his chance, and he did. He doubled up Bailey in minutes, but he didn't necessarily take advantage kind of those minutes.
Hey.
But I don't think that's going to be the usual game for Justin Powell.
If you're spreading the floor because your ability to shoot and you're taking open shots, that's what you're out there for. And if you miss them, you can't get it going, then that's Rick Barnes' responsibility to take you out. But if you're playing defense and you're doing all the other things that doesn't show in the stat sheet, and the coaching staff is happy about it, I mean, we'll take it. We'll take it. Sometimes your play just, your impact on the game doesn't show up necessarily on the stat sheet. So Tennessee has so many different options. I think that Powell three was when Colorado was trying to answer and had a little run, and then Powell answered. I think that's what it was. I watched the game twice, but I was out and about the first time I watched it. I came home and watched the second half again. So that game was just fun, man.
I don't know if you mentioned this while I was answering the phone earlier,
okay,
but the biggest three of the game was Josiah's three.
Oh, yes.
When Colorado had cut it to 5,
mm-hmm,
and Rick Barnes called a timeout and came out of the timeout and bang, buckets.
Yep.
Josiah Jordan-James from 3.
Didn't even hit the rim, man. Shooting with confidence, stepped right into it. He let it fly. Yep, that was a good one.
And Colorado didn't get back within 5. I mean, the most that pushed it to 8, and then Tennessee went on a run to push it back to double digits, and as close as Colorado would get to finish the game was 9 points. So I thought that three was really a turning point. And Tennessee did a really good job throughout that second half of weathering the storm and weathering the Colorado runs of when Colorado would put together 4-0 run, 6-0 run, 5-0 run. They would answer with a tough basket. Kennedy Chandler, that Josiah Jordan-James 3, Justin Powell. I think his 3 was after Colorado had cut it to 9. So good job by Tennessee to not fold in the first true road game of the season. Very impressive.
The thing I think Rick Barnes will want to see a better job of us doing, and that is getting to the free throw line and making them. Only 56% from the free throw line. Only shot 9. Only made 5, and that has to improve. That has to improve 100%. Only had 11 turnovers, but free throw line has to improve. So, Ben, let's do it, man. Let's take that break. And 865-255-03 live here at Beatty Chevrolet. Over 150 vehicles in stock to choose from. Beatty Chevrolet will trade for anything, and they will just flat out buy your vehicle as well. We all good to go, Ben? Hit a break?
Yeah, we'll just hit a break.
All right. 865-200-5503. Stay with us. Be right back.
If you want to get in on the conversation, call the Iris Networks hotline at 865-200-5503. Grow your business with Iris Networks high-speed fiber internet. IrisNetworksUSA.com.
Hi there, Swain Event family. Are you in the market to purchase a home and a bit freaked out with the market right now? As someone who's been in your spot before, I'm familiar with what's going through your brain. And as a realtor, I've mastered the ins and outs of the buying process. When you work with me, you'll benefit from my experience, and together we'll work toward making sound, smart decisions for your future. And of course, talk a little Vol Sports along the way. Just give me a call, Jennifer Morris, Keller Williams Realty, 865-257-7897, or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com. Hope to hear from you soon.
When you start your own business, you know that branding can make or break a new venture. That's why Swain Event relies on 42nd Street. 42nd Street is a strategy agency focused on finding creative, open-minded, results-driven solutions to brand design. After over a decade of operations in East Tennessee, the brand architects at 42nd Street have the experience and creative know-how to ensure the success of your business branding, logo, web presence, and more. To see a real-life example of their amazing work, you can check out our website at swainevent.com. Don't trust the branding of your business to just anyone. Check out my friends at 42nd Street online at 42st.com or give them a call at 865-382-7007. 42nd Street, brand, strategy, design. JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
For a replay of each day's Swain Event TV, like us on Facebook.
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America, live at Beatty Chevrolet Parkside Drive. Ben McKee, Jason Swain. Never pay over MSRP for new vehicles here at Beatty Chevrolet. Their website, BeattyChevrolet.com. Go and see their inventory. Great time to buy your vehicle for Christmas. While you're doing that, go over to Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union and then get the best rate around. Tell them Swain sent you. They'll take care of you over there in Alcoa. Ben, you mentioned Kennedy Chandler. Most field goals in a game in a very, very long time. During the broadcast, they mentioned that he had surpassed Admiral Schofield, who just was in a zone a couple of years ago versus Gonzaga. And Kennedy Chandler looked like he was in a zone as well. So just enjoy Kennedy Chandler while we have him, and understand that guys like him, they don't show up a lot. I mean, Rick Barnes has been here for a while, and this is the first time we've experienced a player like Kennedy Chandler. He is special. Don't miss a basketball game. Go to every basketball game if you can. just embrace how great Kennedy Chandler is and how great he's going to be, and just watch him grow, because he has grown from the Villanova game to the Colorado game. That was like the real first test away from home against an opponent that you didn't have to pay to play. And Chandler kind of, he had a freshman game. But the bounce back, oh man, the bounce back. Just a couple days ago that happened. Coming back and responding.
Even after the Tennessee Tech game, he responded. Tennessee obviously beat Tennessee Tech and beat them by double digits, but it wasn't the prettiest game. Tech was leading at halftime.
Yeah, it's Tech.
And part of it was Kennedy Chandler struggling, and after the game, Rick Barnes called him out for not having a good practice the day before, and Kennedy admitted and was right on board with Rick's comments after the game that he didn't have a good practice. He didn't prepare well, and he kind of saw Tennessee Tech on the schedule and thought, oh, this is fine. I mean, he tried to do what he did in high school, and that's let his just natural athleticism, natural ability take over and allow him to play well. And you can't do that at this level against anybody, or else you will be embarrassed. And it was an embarrassing performance against Tennessee Tech, quite frankly. Tennessee shouldn't be trailing to Tennessee Tech at halftime. And what I love most about Kennedy Swain is how he's responded since that moment. His defense has gotten better. His preparation has gotten better. Twice he's met with the media and talked about how important his preparation is. And you can just really tell that he has taken coaching. And I think that's the biggest difference between maybe he and a five-star freshman from a year ago. And I'm not referencing the five-star freshman that is from Tennessee, the one that is from North Carolina and playing for the Sixers. I think this one does a better job of taking some coaching, and you can see it because Kennedy has been awesome since that Tennessee Tech game. I know it's only 2 games, and one of them was against the Blue Hose of Presbyterian, but it's just super impressive. I know I continue to say that, but that's really what it is, because you don't see the maturity of somebody so young this often. I mean, he has showed an immense amount of maturity and really tried to improve since that Tennessee Tech game, and he has, and that'll bode well for him during this tough December stretch and into conference play.
I love it when we dip down in Alabama to go get a player. Tennessee was able to do that over the weekend. Jordan Thomas, DB from Montgomery, Alabama, the Gump, decommitted from Mississippi State and committed to Tennessee over the weekend on Saturday. And now that pushes Tennessee's total commitments to 16 as we are approaching early signing period. Ben, there was a lot of players on campus. There's a lot of players mentioned that's in the mix for Tennessee, and this is where it gets fun, because you have this new transfer portal that you've played one season under your belt. You can show some of these guys what you were able to do with the players that you brought in. Obviously, the program is going in the right direction. You have high school players that see that something is changing and going in the right direction. They want to be a part of something special. You hear that in some of these players' quotes that have committed. But then you also have players in the transfer portal that maybe have just 1 year left, or 2 or 3, and they want to finish their career in the SEC and finish their career with a program that is on an upward trajectory. Do you want to rely too much on the transfer portal, or do you want to get 4-year players from high school? So the strategy from Tennessee's coaching staff is going to be fun to watch, interesting to watch and pay attention to. But Ben, I know you got all the nuggets, man. You got like a little platter over there. You got a nugget tray over there, man. So, man, give us what you got. Starting with Jordan Thomas, who committed to Tennessee. He's the most important one.
That's right, because he was the commitment over the weekend that you referenced, committed to Tennessee on Saturday evening during his official visit to Tennessee this weekend. Unfortunately, he will not be an early enrollee. His school, Montgomery Catholic Preparatory in Montgomery, Alabama, does not allow students to graduate early. So he will enroll in May, which kind of stinks because I think that there should be an open competition at safety this off season, and it sure would be nice to get him in here and maybe allow himself to be a freshman that plays early, but that probably won't be the case since he can't enroll early. But who knows? Maybe he can make waves in fall camp.
Ben, what's the name of this high school again?
Montgomery Catholic Preparatory.
You can't be a Catholic preparatory and not allow your students to achieve academic greatness and graduate early. You gotta change that. You gotta allow kids to be great if they want to be great. You're not even allowing them to do it.
No.
Like, allow these kids to spread their wings if they want to put in that extra work to go to college early. Allow them to do that. I mean, I don't know why would you ground a young man if he chooses to put the extra work in to enroll in college early. They gotta do something about that, man. That's not a good look on Montgomery Catholic Preparatory. They gotta change that.
They do. He's going to play safety for Tennessee. That's what Tennessee's been recruiting him as primarily a safety. But they also think that they can line him up anywhere in the secondary, and that's been the theme with Willie Martinez and Tim Banks throughout this recruiting cycle. And it's the day and age of college football that we're in. You need versatile players in the secondary. So he is versatile, but he'll primarily play at safety. Sounds like he projects as a boundary safety, but again, he does have a lot of versatility. The thing about his game is that he is very physical, and his high school coach pointed out to us at VolQuest that he's willing to do anything. And stealing the Jawan Mitchell phrase that I've said here on the show before, he loves sticking his head in the fan. He will run down on kickoff. He will run down on punts and just absolutely knock the daylights out of somebody. He'll go block a field goal. He'll stick his head in the run game. He can line up and press you if he needs to in the slot. So just a lot of versatility in his game. Here's what Kirk Johnson, the head coach there at Montgomery Catholic, told us at VolQuest about Jordan Thomas. He's an exceptional young man. He's a good kid, does all the things right, and is where he is supposed to be. He keeps his grades up and knows how to be respectful on your campus. As far as football, he is a physical young man. He's just now starting to scratch the surface on how good he can be. He's a quarterback turned DB, and it's worked out in his benefit. Being a former quarterback, it shows he has the mental capacity to hold a lot of stuff. We run a scheme-based defense that requires a lot of checks. A lot of those checks come from the safety. He has done a good job of growing and maturing in that role over the years. I think the weight room and meal plan will treat his body real good when he gets there. That's Kirk Johnson, the Montgomery Catholic head coach, which, as you would expect, has great things to say about Jordan Thomas, who is a former Mississippi State commit. He committed to Mississippi State on April 12th, decommitted November 30th. And I'll put a bow on Jordan Thomas with this, Wayne. I spoke to him in October. I believe he was up here for the South Carolina game. He was up here for the South Carolina game for an unofficial, and I spoke to him after the game, and he raved about culture. Culture was the most important aspect of his recruitment. It was going to be the deciding factor, and culture is so important because culture is so big at his high school. And that when I had spoken to him mid-October, his defense in high school had not allowed a touchdown on the season. And that culture, that same culture that he has at his high school, is the same culture that he wanted at the next level. He said, culture is very important to me. My high school has a great culture, and we've had a lot of success because of it. So I want a great culture in college too. It's going to be the most important part in my decision. I feel like there's great people and coaches at Tennessee, and that I'll be good if I go there. He also told me that I feel like they've got great coaches, and Coach Heupel is energetic and loves the game. Same with Coach Martinez and Coach Banks. They're going to love up on me and coach me hard and get me to my goals of where I want to go. So I really like this pickup, Swain. I know we feel positive about most pickups, but this is another one over the last couple of weeks that won't necessarily meet the needs of the stargazers. Christian Harrison, Joshua Josephs, now Jordan Thomas. But there's a lot to like about Jordan Thomas, whether it be his physical nature or whether it be his versatility. And I think what I just talked about and how important culture is to him, I think it's clear that he's going to be a leader at some point on Tennessee's defense.
Yeah, I'm sure with the stars, some guys get bumps. That's usually how it goes. So listen, if he's a good player, if Coach Martinez likes him, I think Coach Martinez has earned the reputation to be a really good recruiter, and we know he can develop. So I honestly stopped looking at stars. This is probably the least amount I've paid attention to stars since being in this business. So we'll see how these guys come in, how they develop, how they play. We don't know. We don't know if it's a good pickup or if it's not a good pickup until they actually start doing something. So what we can say is that this coach staff, they're addressing needs.
Yes.
There's definitely need at safety in the secondary, and if they have players that fit their profile, then they're going with them. And I think that's very, very important. I think at some point in this conference, you got to take some guys who are very, really, really talented that may not fit your profile like a puzzle. They may be close to fitting it, but you can't get picky and choosy sometimes. You got to be able to adapt, have a staff in place full of real assistant coaches, guys who are down to earth, and guys that can identify and kick a conversation with really anybody from any type of walk of life. You got to be versatile there and have a coach with personality, and it can be a chameleon. I think Montario Hardesty is one of those guys that can do that. He can go in any room, any part of the country, and he can adapt and kick a conversation with really anybody. I don't know how great he can recruit. I just know how he is because I'm his friend, and I know how he's been able to carry himself. I've never seen him recruit. I just know that he can talk to anybody. You need coaches on your staff like that. And the more that you have on like that, you can go to Memphis, you can go to Miami, you can go to Minnesota, you can go out to California and pull a Brian Kelly and change your accent if you need to. Say, hey, man, that game was gnarly. We want you to come out to Tennessee. If you want to go up to New York and talk like you're from Jersey Shore, then you can do that too. But you got to be able to adapt. And that's super, super important for assistant coaches who are on the road. All right, man, let's go over to Desmond Williams and stick in the secondary. He is the JUCO player from Mississippi, not really rated much at all. Doesn't have a ranking, doesn't have anything. He must be one of those guys that kind of flew under the radar, but he was here, Ben, and you got a chance to chit chat with him, you and Kane. So it was his official visit. How did that go?
Yeah, we ambushed Desmond Williams at the airport yesterday morning, and I think Tennessee's in a really good spot there. He has been really impressed with Willie Martinez throughout this process, and is really excited about the opportunity for early playing time at Tennessee if he were to pick Tennessee. It's pretty much down to Tennessee and Mississippi State at this point. He'll take a visit to Mississippi State this weekend. At least that was the plan going into this weekend. But maybe his visit to Tennessee persuaded him to no longer take that visit. We'll see what happens there. But he's a big fan of Coach Heupel. Coach Martinez said that Coach Martinez told me a lot of good things, and the chances I have of starting and being on the field early if I come in and compete. And, he's originally from Georgia. He's in JUCO right now. But he said that the distance to home didn't really matter to him just because he's willing to work as hard as he can and make his people back home happy wherever he goes. He just wants to work hard and be the best person that he can be. But he was really impressed with Knoxville itself and talked about it being a great spot.
Of course he is. He's been in Mississippi for the last couple months.
Yeah, yes. Any city outside the state of Mississippi would look good at this point. No offense to our listeners in Mississippi this morning.
They know. They understand.
He was really impressed with it. The players showing him around, and he said it's a pretty good place, and he was really excited about getting to see Knoxville. So I think Tennessee's in a really, really good spot with Desmond Williams, the JUCO corner out of Mississippi.
What about receiver? You're going to lose Velus Jones. You're going to lose Javonte Peyton. I think it is okay to expect Cedric Tillman to be back. Caleb Webb likes the comparison to Cedric Tillman, certainly likes the production that Cedric Tillman has been able to have this season because he wants to have the same production if he does pick Tennessee. But he is the 6'4", 195-pound receiver from Keatron High School there in Powder Springs, a.k.a. Atlanta. He was on campus as well. And, Ben, he said Tennessee is a special place, man. Special place.
Because it is. And because Tennessee is surging in his recruitment. He decommitted from East Carolina yesterday morning as he was departing Tennessee from his official visit with Tennessee. And I spoke about this last week on air. Don't be thrown off by him being committed to ECU. He's been committed to ECU since June 27th. He, in my opinion, I don't know this to be fact, but just from the outside looking in, talking to him multiple times throughout this season, he's a really good kid. He's been truly one of my favorite kids to talk to throughout this process, just because he's genuine. Again, he's a good kid. You can tell he is. He's very respectful. That's the word that I would use to describe Caleb Webb in my interactions. Very respectful to everybody he talks about and to me as well. And I think he was just holding off on decommitting from ECU as his recruitment blew up because he really did like the coaches at ECU and truly had good relationships with those coaches. And so he just was kind of being courteous to them, I guess you could say. But he's been talking to Tennessee, Michigan, Louisville, Kentucky. So his recruitment hasn't blown up maybe like a Squirrel White, who has added interest from a Georgia. But, I mean, he's at Michigan talking to him, and Michigan's the number 2 team in the country. Big Ten champs, just beat Ohio State and in the college football playoff. Kentucky isn't a bad school to go to right now. Louisville, a Power 5 school as well. So don't get thrown off by the ECU commitment. I really like his game. I talked about it on Friday. He had a heck of a season in the highest division of football in the state of Georgia this year in the Atlanta area. I really like Caleb Webb. I think Caleb Webb really likes Tennessee. He was here for the South Carolina game. He was here for the Ole Miss game and has always spoke highly of Josh Heupel, Cody Burns. I think Tennessee's in a really good spot there as well, which if he were to jump in the boat, that would give Tennessee 4 receiver commitments in this class. Cam Miller, Squirrel White, Chaz Nimrod from Arkansas, and Caleb Webb. And if those are the 4 receivers you're bringing in, I think that's a really good recruiting class at that position for Tennessee. Cam Miller, very good. Underrated because he did not have a junior season of high school football because of COVID in the Memphis area. Squirrel White, Alabama and Georgia really like him. He'll far outplay his ranking of a 3-star. I'm not as familiar with Chaz Nimrod's game, but I know the coaches really like him. And then I just raved about Caleb Webb. I think he'll outplay his ranking as well. That's a really good wide receiver haul if Tennessee can finish it off with a Caleb Webb.
865, 255, 503. I forgot what I was going to say, man. I had a good point. I forgot it.
Receiver Hall.
I mean, I think it's okay for right
Caleb
now.
Webb, ECU, or
well, I just think the receiver hall is it's okay right now. I mean, you need those numbers. You gotta improve the depth inside the wide receiver room. I like the variety of tools. You want different guys, different sizes to do different things. You need a little point guard. Squirrel White is certainly that. And man, I just hope we're able to keep up with him. That route he ran in the playoffs for Clay, that ain't 3-star route running, guys. That's 5-star route running. You don't learn how to run routes like that until you get to college.
No,
so
Squirrel went to an Alabama camp over the summer and outperformed 5-star receivers at that camp, and had thoroughly impressed Alabama's coaches and Nick Saban at that camp. But Alabama had already taken a slot receiver in this class, so that's why they did not take Squirrel. But if that slot receiver that had committed to Alabama decided to decommit at any point, Squirrel was probably next in line for Alabama to go after. Squirrel White is going to be legit, and hopefully Tennessee can hold off this surge from Georgia.
Yeah, he's the most underrated player on this list.
Yes.
In our recruiting class, he is the most underrated. He does not run routes like a 3-star. I'm going to tell you that right now. The boy runs routes better than some 5-star receivers. They come in as freshmen. I'm telling you now, man, if we're able to keep him, that will be huge for Tennessee. He's small, but man, elite route running abilities, and he'll be creating separation for about 4 years at his next school, whatever school that's going to be. Hopefully it's for Tennessee, and Tennessee's able to keep him, man. He's a stud. 865, 255, 03. Check out the text box, man.
Care if I throw you a couple other things real quick?
Please do, man. Please do.
C.J. Smith was another receiver on campus. He is the Florida commit. He really liked Tennessee. I just have a hard time believing he's going to flip from Florida. So I wouldn't get my hopes up about C.J. Smith, although Tennessee did impress him. He's just from the Orlando area, and I think he's going to stick with his commitment to Florida, quite frankly. The other two intriguing ones to me, Swain, are at another position of need for Tennessee, and that's up front on defense. And Tennessee had one of the best JUCO players in the country in this weekend in Jeffrey Mba, who is originally from the Congo, and his mother, who lives in France, I believe, was with him this weekend on his visit. And he was very high on Tennessee exiting the visit as well. He really hit it off with Rodney Garner and really liked the plan that Rodney Garner laid out for him to come in and compete and play. And he told me just flat out that I think I need to be in the SEC. If I want to get to the NFL, then I feel like I need to be in the SEC to reach that goal. And that is a significant quote, in my opinion, because it feels like maybe a Tennessee-Oregon battle, and Oregon not in the SEC last time
and not about to have a coach either.
Yes, I was about to say that as well. So he's at Missouri today. He's already been on an official visit to Auburn, did so the weekend of the Iron Bowl, was at Tennessee this weekend, and then he is doing 2 official visits during the week this week before he heads back home overseas, I believe France, and that's where he will make his decision. And he'll be at Missouri, I think, today and tomorrow, and then he'll be at Oregon later this week. So he put out his top 5 or final 5 on Friday going into the visit, and it was Tennessee, Miami, Oregon, Missouri, and Auburn. And I think it may be a Tennessee-Oregon battle for him. And he is an instant impact type of guy. He is a huge, huge human being, and he would be a heck of a pickup for Tennessee, and I think would play right away. The other intriguing one, Swain, is Darren Agu from Georgia, who is committed to Vandy, but he's more of a Clark Lee guy than a Vandy guy. Was committed to Notre Dame at one point when Clark Lee was still at Notre Dame, followed him to Vandy, and he is from Raybun Gap Nakuchi High School, wherever that is. Raybun Cap, Georgia. I'm sure I mispronounced that, so my bad to the Georgia folks out there.
Hold on, let me see what you're talking about.
Say that again.
I said, let me see what you're talking about.
Yeah.
See okay, yeah, right.
But he had a big time senior season in the state of Georgia this year, and Tennessee really picked up its interest
Why would he
on
commit to
him.
Vanderbilt?
Tennessee didn't really know what to make of him, kind of going into his senior year, but had a really good senior year, and Ronnie Garner has really picked up the efforts to recruit him down the stretch. Had 72 tackles, 24 tackles for a loss, 14 sacks during his senior season. Again, a really productive senior season. Tennessee wants him to play defensive end around the 250, 260 range and be an edge presence. And Tennessee needs more edge presence in this class, and he's a big athletic kid who can potentially do that. So he's going to make a final decision on the 15th, which is the first day of the early signing period. He's taking an official to Vanderbilt this weekend, and so Vanderbilt does get the last visit there. And I'm sure the Vandy commit will scare people off, but this is a really athletic kid who will be a nice pickup for Vandy or Tennessee, whichever one he decides to go with. What I like about this class, Wayne,
Tennessee wants him. I guess I'm cool.
Say that again.
I said Tennessee wants him. I guess I'm cool. I'm still trying. I'm trying to. I
know.
I'm trying to look at this Vanderbilt logo
and keep thinking that he was committed to Notre Dame at one point.
I know.
He's a Clark Lee. He's more of a Clark Lee kid than a Vandy kid.
I get it. I understand that.
Rodney Gardner likes him.
Listen. I'm sitting here looking at this logo. That's what's. That's making. I need to click off of it.
I get it. And look, Tennessee needs edge help. He's big. He's athletic. He had a heck of a season in the state of Georgia, which will always stand out to me. I don't know where Raybun Gap is, but I don't care whether it's South Georgia, Atlanta area. Georgia high school football is filled with really good football players, so I don't even really care where it's located. I know he's from the state of Georgia and balled out, and that says something.
Relationships must really mean a lot for him if he decided to commit to Vanderbilt because of Clark Lee. I mean, relationships are very, very important. That's what I see.
Yes. According to T. Diddy, 53178, Raybun Gap, if I'm saying that correctly, is on the Georgia-North Carolina line, northeast Georgia. VFL Sean Bryson coached there. Jake from Nashville says, Candy commit doesn't scare me as bad now that Barton Simmons is scouting for them, and Clark Lee is pretty damn good at seeing defensive talent. So you got some positive.
Listen, I understand all of that. I'm just looking at the logo.
I know. But it seems like Tennessee really gave him something to think about this weekend, and I think it would be a really nice pickup, especially if you can pair him with Joshua Josephs and then go out and get a James Pierce. If James Pierce can qualify academically, maybe you bring in the JUCO D lineman from Independence that we just talked about, Jeffrey Mba. All of a sudden, this class is looking really different. Now it's going to come down to Tennessee developing these guys. I love that the staff has identified guys that they like. They like them. They see something in them. Now can they go out and develop them and turn them into professional college football players?
All right, we got to take a break, man. Let's do that. Swain Event fueled by Dead End Barbecue Live Lady Chevrolet. Be right back.
that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you. Hello, is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you.
What are you doing?
Calling around to get the best rate on a car loan.
Why? Everyone knows Alcoa 10 is the best choice to purchase a vehicle or refinance your current loan. And with low interest rates and 90 days to your first payment, it's a no-brainer. You can even apply online and sign all the documents from the convenience of your home.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Alcoa 10 Credit Union. It's so easy. Go to atfcu.com for details. Rates are dependent on credit score and equal housing lender.
Good morning, Swain Event family. Several of you, like Ben McKee, have reached out to me for real estate assistance this year, and I want to say thank you. I appreciate your trust in me to ask questions and help you navigate the real estate world.
That's right, Jennifer. Buying a home is a scary process, especially for a first-time home buyer. Jennifer recently helped my wife and I buy our first home and made the entire process seamless. Her willingness to go above and beyond is what sets her apart.
As always, feel free to give me a call. Jennifer Morris, Keller Williams Realty, 865-257-7897, or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com.
We're here with Dr. Michael Carlson of Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine to discuss PRP, platelet-rich plasma. If you have orthopedic injuries such as shoulder pain, knee pain, Achilles tendonitis, or tennis elbow, you should give them a call.
Good to be back, Jason. We specialize in non-surgical orthopedics, so we treat damaged tendons, ligaments, and joints, including rotator cuff injuries, knee injuries, and elbow and foot problems by using ultrasound-guided injections with PRP. And this form of treatment helps stimulate the body's own reparative process and assist in the healing of damaged tissue.
Doc, what makes your training different than others?
I've been practicing in Knoxville for over 26 years, and I'm certified in interventional regenerative orthopedic medicine through the American Academy of Orthopedic Medicine. They've been the leader in this form of treatment since 1983. I also teach this form of treatment on a national and international basis to other physicians, residents, and medical students. Here in our clinic, I'm the one doing the procedure, and we're using your own PRP, which are concentrated platelets, to treat your injury. So in other words, Jason, it comes from you and it goes back to you. So you know exactly what you're getting and know exactly the level of training involved.
Do what the pros, college athletes, and I have done, and visit them online at trsportsmedicine.com. Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, East Tennessee's leader in PRP therapy.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
Touchdown or turnover is backed by Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong.
Touchdown or turnover, back by Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong. Better rates and better service. Live here at Beatty Chevrolet, home of the warranty for life. Lifetime warranty on most new and pre-owned vehicles. Ben McKee, Jason Swain. Beatty Chevrolet will trade for anything. Over 150 vehicles in stock. And this week, man, big week for the Swain event, man. Supposed to be getting some new equipment installed. It's going to make everyone's life a whole lot better and easier. So I'm really excited for that. Got everything in last week. And I ain't gonna lie, man, I looked at everything. You was in the studio Friday after the show. I looked at everything. I was like, you know what? I'm about to try to do this. I'm gonna try to do this myself. I took one step outside in minus 25-degree weather. The blizzard hit me right in my face. I said, no. I walked right back out inside. My point is, I opened the box. I tried to hook up one thing, and I was like, nah, I'm gonna let the professionals do this. I'm gonna put this right back in the box. Right back in the box. That's what it felt like. Going outside. Yeah, I'm going outside. And then cold air hit you in the face. You go, nah, I'm going back inside. That's what I did with the equipment. Thought I was going to try to hook it up. You know what, man? I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot about this audio stuff. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it myself. And, man, you know exactly what I'm talking about when you got a plumbing job and your wife is like, call Hiller. You're like, nah, I'm going to do it myself, baby. I'm going to do it myself. I'm a man. I know how to do this. I'm a man. Get on YouTube. Let me get on YouTube. I'm going to do this myself. And then you try to do it. Oh, you mess up everything. And your wife is like, you should have let the professionals do it, baby. And that's when you call Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. So sometimes you got to just leave it to the professionals, which is what I'm going to do. So Wednesday, Thursday, somewhere in that range, or maybe even Fridays when everything will be hooked up, unless something crazy comes up. But that's where we are with that. All right, it is time for touchdown turnover, back by Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong. All right, Ben, college football playoff is set. Georgia is in, even though they lost by multiple scores against Alabama. The score, 41-24. I think it's safe to say that Bryce Young has locked up the Heisman Trophy for this season because he was magnificent, 421 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. His counterpart was not. And that is why I picked Alabama to win, because Stetson Bennett, even though he had 340 yards, he had 2 interceptions. One was a pick 6. I wouldn't even, like I was setting stuff up. We watched a movie outside in the backyard, so I was setting things up outside while watching the game through the glass. And I turned around, and Alabama had scored another touchdown, but they were just on defense. And I was like, oh, that means Stetson Bennett threw a pick 6. That means he is doing what he did last time against Alabama. He is being the weakest link. And Kirby Smart making questionable calls late in the game. This is what happened last time. But Georgia is still in the college football playoff. Touchdown turnover, taking off your orange-colored glasses, removing your bias. Should Georgia be in the college football playoff? Touchdown turnover.
Well, I'm glad that you got your wish of Alabama making the playoffs. I feel very happy for you.
My wish. I just want Georgia to lose.
Your home state winning an SEC championship and having a walk-in to the SEC the national championship game here in the playoffs. So congratulations.
Hey man, you ain't qualified to make that joke.
I'll say touchdown. Georgia still deserves to be in the college football playoffs. Now, I will certainly listen to arguments that they shouldn't, because I think they are fair arguments. Emmanuel Ocho, I say his last name right?
Ocho,
like Ocho Cinco, right? He had a tweet on Saturday night that went viral, and it was pretty much alluding to Georgia not really being deserving of making the playoffs, and Georgia is not a conference champion, and their best win was against 9-3 Kentucky, a Clemson team that I believe is ranked 20th, a Tennessee team that is 7-5 in the first year under Josh Heupel. Those are Georgia's best wins, and you've got Baylor, who was a conference champion, and their best win was against 10-2 Oklahoma.
Oklahoma's not good.
Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame's season was more impressive when you look at the teams that they beat. The SEC East just is what it is, and I hate that we are part of the SEC East, and we have to kind of beat up ourselves to make this case. But it's not impressive to make it through the East the way that Georgia did, when Georgia looks like it did when it finally plays a team like Alabama. So I'll say touchdown, Swain. I do think Georgia still deserves, because at the end of the day, they still were very dominant even against those East teams. But I don't think it's as asinine to hear arguments that Georgia should not be in the playoffs as Georgia media members and SEC media members that work for the SEC network will make it out to be.
Yeah, I mean, Baylor's argument is It falls short because they lost to Baylor October the 16th, and they lost to TCU November the 6th.
Which is an awful loss.
November the 6th. That was an awful loss. TCU's not that great this year, and that's why you can't really take Baylor serious, even though they are the conference champions. I think conference champions is a part of the criteria, but I think when you look at the college football playoff, you want the 4 best teams in there. And the 4 best teams plus the 4 deserving teams. And as much as we dislike Georgia, as much as we dislike Alabama, those 2 teams deserve to be in there. I think they earned their right to be in there. I think Cincinnati earned their right to be there. I think Michigan earned the right to be there. I think those right now are the 4 best teams. So, yes, touchdown for me. I think they belong in the top 4. But I love seeing the arguments against Georgia not being in there. I really like enjoying them. I like seeing them. I enjoy seeing them a lot. You mentioned Ancho there. I enjoy watching his. I enjoy watching other folks who are like, hey, their best win is against 9-3 Kentucky. Well, is Kentucky better than OU? I don't know. I think we beat our chest so much about how the SEC is this and SEC is that, but we are putting that to the side when we are making the argument that Georgia don't belong by saying that their best win is against a 9-3 Kentucky team. I just feel like it's a little contradictory. But if Georgia didn't get in, I would be happy, to be honest, and I'll be rooting my butt off for Michigan. Let's go.
I'm already. I'm go Wolverines.
Go Maize and Blue.
Jim Harbaugh has always been one of the best coaches in college football. The criticism of Jim Harbaugh has always been unfair. He is the better of the Harbaugh brothers. I mean, only one won this weekend. Only one is on a winning streak at the moment, but that's a different conversation. And look, I'll be the biggest Bearcats fan over the next month as well. Let's go pull off the biggest upset in college football history. Let's go do it. Let's go Bearcats. Let's go Desmond Ritter. Come on, Luke Fickell. I've always liked you. Come on, buddy.
Let's go,
you
Northerners.
10 times better than Butch Jones.
Hey, we're going for the Northerners this week.
Yeah, that's right. I don't really know how to do a Northern accent like Brian Kelly.
Family. That's how you said family. I'm here with my family.
I need to hang out around Zakai Ziegler more.
Yeah, that's a whole nother accent right there.
North.
Yeah, that's northeast. That's a whole nother accent. Like north is just proper. I mean, it's just that's all. That's the big difference there. But go Northerners. Go Maize and Blue. You go to any restaurant in Michigan, they don't serve sweet tea. It's weird, but whatever. We going for you. We rooting for you. And Cincinnati,
tea's overrated.
Overrated, chilly, but we still are rooting for you anyways. Let's go.
What are your early thoughts on the Georgia Michigan game? I'm really intrigued to see how Georgia responds. Was Georgia getting beat up in the trenches just a bad day, or was it truly indicative of them being overrated? Because that Alabama offensive line has not played like that in a month and a half, Swain. I mean, I was absolutely stunned that Alabama's offensive line played the way that they did. Because a week ago, they couldn't block me or you coming off the edge. I mean, they were awful against Auburn, and then here they are against a bunch of NFL talent, and they're blowing them 5, 7, 10 yards off the ball. I mean, it was crazy how much time Bryce Young had. The running game with running backs that are beating up for Alabama, they were running all over Georgia. I mean, I was stunned, and I don't think Michigan has the perimeter players or the quarterback to beat Georgia, but they're a physical football team, so I'm interested to see how Georgia responds to getting beat up against another really physical football team.
Michigan, they have 2 quarterbacks. One's a youngster who's more mobile. I mean, they used him in the Michigan State game and used him at the worst time. That's literally how they lost. They fumbled on the last possession there. The freshman quarterback was in, but he had a pretty good day against Michigan State. So Michigan does have two quarterbacks. They can go two quarterbacks if they need to. Michigan runs the ball very, very well, and Michigan has the best pass rusher probably in the country in Aiden Hutchinson. So he is Michigan's all-time leading sack leader. Georgia obviously has the best probably linebacker in the country, but Michigan has a top 5 pick on the defensive line. Michigan has a two-man monster, so to speak, at their ends rushing the passer. So they're really, really good at getting to the quarterback. So for Georgia, how will they be able to protect Stetson Bennett? Or is this now a time that you look at JT Daniels, because Stetson Bennett proved that he can't win the big game? He threw 2 picks. Now, Bennett gives you more with his legs, and we saw that in the SEC Championship game multiple times. He was able to get outside the pocket and pick up positive yards and first downs. I mean, I think Bennett is gives you the best chance there with his legs, but decision making, that's a question with the 2 picks. That Michigan Georgia game is going to be good, man, because Michigan's going to be able to handle or hang with Georgia in the trenches. They got some big boys too.
Yep.
And they got some nice pass rushers. So athleticism on the outside, that's probably going to favor Georgia, but the trench play, hey man, Michigan will be right there with Georgia. And as far as Alabama and Cincinnati, I just don't see how Cincinnati's going to keep up with the explosion from Alabama. I mean, getting Jameson Williams back, he goes for 184. My gosh. John Mechie was right at 100 yards. You got Slade Bolden. I mean, you're just too many players for Alabama on the outside, I think, for Cincinnati to be able to handle. And then this is Nick Saban we're talking about. This is the best.
Yes.
This is the best. You're giving him weeks and weeks to prepare. I mean, this is why I picked Alabama last week. Nick Saban against Kirby. And he only had a week, and I felt like he would make the adjustments enough to beat Georgia, and that's what happened. So I think Alabama's going to win and cover against Cincinnati. I think it's like 17 points, something like that.
I saw 14. I don't know what it went up to, but I saw the original line at 14.
I have to check it.
I'm taking Alabama to cover
Yeah.
all day long. I am interested to see, though, since John Mechie has a torn ACL and will be out the remainder of the way for Alabama, and I don't think it's going to matter against Cincinnati at all. More so looking to the championship game against Georgia or Michigan. How does not having Mechie affect Bama? Because when Jameson Williams got ejected for targeting against Auburn in the Iron Bowl, it absolutely had an effect on the remainder of the game. Auburn didn't have to worry about 2 guys anymore, because that's really all that Alabama's receivers are. I mean, they've got some other guys. Slade Bolden, you mentioned him. He's a nice player. They've got some freshmen who are going to be good, but they're just not ready yet. They don't really have anybody that can step up and scare a defense like they have had in years past. So I don't think it'll matter against Cincinnati, Swain, but I am interested to see against Michigan or Georgia how much not having those 2 receivers that take pressure off of one another out there.
Let's go Michigan. That's my second. Hey, that was my number 2 team to Tennessee. Let's go. Let's go Michigan. That maize and blue is so beautiful too, man. I love the blue. I love
the Jordan logo. I mean, it looks absolutely beautiful.
Michigan makes the Jordan logo look better than any other school besides North Carolina. Sorry, C-Mac. It's just true. But David Ajabo and Aiden Hutchinson, they have combined for 24 sacks on the season. So
fun to watch.
Aiden Hutchinson broke Lamar Woodley's sack record there in Michigan for career sacks. So he's number 1. And then David Jabo is in the top 5 or 6 too. Both of those guys play on the defensive line for Michigan. So I'm telling you, Georgia will have their hands full with number 97, Aiden Hutchinson, whose father played there, and his father had the record, and then David Jabo, who's number 55. They will have their hands full with those dudes. But let's talk about a bowl game that is more important, and that is Tennessee's bowl game, because Tennessee is going to the Music City Bowl to play against the Purdue Boilermakers. And earlier this season, Purdue has been labeled as the Spoilermakers because they have beaten teams that were favored. They beat who they beat earlier? Michigan State. They beat Michigan State earlier this season. Boilermakers have also, in previous seasons, beat teams like Ohio State that came in ranked higher. When you look at Purdue offensively, this is going to be a nice matchup between Tennessee and Purdue. Like this could be a really fun game. Like people look at like the logo and say, "Oh, well, that's a basketball school," and it's Purdue. It's not that prestigious, logo on the side of the helmet that you can possibly get a win against, like a Penn State, something like that. But Purdue's offense, y'all, they got a receiver over there. Ooh, David Bell, who was a finalist for the Blitnikoff Award, which is the best receiver in college. The dude is good. He's a junior, wide receiver. He's number 3. And then they have a quarterback that he's not mobile. Now, he is not going to beat you with his legs. I mean, he is a statue, which bodes well for Tennessee. Ben, this is great. You go look at Aiden O'Connell's numbers rushing on season, it's like negative. He does not run the football. He is not mobile. But, boy, is he accurate from the pocket. And is he efficient? What'd you say? Yeah, Alante. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, O'Connell is, he leads the Big Ten in completion percentage. So their quarterback, he does do that. He does do that very, very well. So this game, guys, just because it's in Nashville, this is going to be one of the better games, I think, of bowl season, because this game can put up 40 points each team, possibly, because you're going to be without Alante Taylor, and offensively they put up points. They don't run the football, which means they're going to be one-dimensional, which gives guys like Brian Young an opportunity to get back there and make some plays. And our defense really good tackles for loss, so they're not balanced, but they are pretty good throwing the football. All right, let's get to the phones, and let's get to Mark. Mark, good morning.
Good morning. Swain, my brother, what's happening?
Hey, Mark, man, it's good to hear from you.
How you doing, bro?
I'm wonderful.
That's awesome. Hey, I got a question for you. There's I'm in Georgia down here, and there's a rumor going around that Kirby Smart is up for the starring role in Linda Lovelace's new movie, The Choke Artist. Have y'all heard that, did he?
That wouldn't surprise me. I haven't heard that, but it wouldn't surprise me, man. That decision to, what decision was it? He decided to punt. I think it was punt.
No, to go for it on fourth
No,
down.
yeah. He should kick the field goal. He should kick the field goal. So he should kick the field goal, and he went for it, didn't get it, and then they got the ball back again, and then he decided to punt instead of going for it.
Yeah,
I'm just like what?
Yeah.
What are we doing here, Kirby? Oh, never mind. I know what we're doing. The same thing you've been doing.
Yeah, the same thing. He got no idea.
None.
He's got no idea. But, hey, man, the interesting part about this is my daughter plays like this travel soccer league, and Saturday we're at the field, and it's a huge tournament. There's 50 teams in it, and the sidelines are just littered with Georgia garb. Sunday, I couldn't find a Georgia hat. That's the difference in Tennessee fans and Georgia fans. We can take a beating, brother. Bring it on. Go Vols, baby!
I guess that's the way to look at it. I was going to ask Mark if you heard any barking Saturday either. And
I know I heard a lot of barking while I was watching College Game Day Saturday morning.
I couldn't do it, man. I couldn't do it. I've only watched that show probably twice this entire year.
It's a part of my routine. I watch it. I get up at 8:50, 8:55 on Saturday and turn it on. There's just something about the intro and their opening segment of kind of bouncing around real quick to mention all the top games for the day, it just gets the juices flowing, starts the day off right for me.
I get you. Let's keep it going this morning. On the phones, let's get to Greedy Greg. Greedy Greg, good morning.
What's up, guys? How y'all doing?
We okay, man. I want to ask you how you doing.
Hey, I'm doing good. The boys and the girls basketball team in Tennessee won. Hey, don't bring Memphis up though.
Hey man, I ain't bringing them up. I'll bring them up later at 8:45
tomorrow.
Okay. Hey, I have a quick question though. I have to admit, I mean, I can't take away from Alabama win. It was a good win over Georgia, but again, they played like crap the last two games. I mean, like Ben pointed out, that if the running back Tank would have fell down like he should have in the last minute of the game, they probably would have lost that game to Auburn. And Auburn had a backup quarterback. It wasn't even their starting quarterback. And then with the Arkansas game the week prior, they need questionable calls to win that game. So, I mean, the body of work, Michigan had a better body of work. You know, that game against Ohio State was equally impressive. They beat Penn State 4 weeks ago, within the last 4 weeks, and then they had an impressive win against Iowa. I just don't like I just think the committee on purpose didn't want Georgia and Alabama to play in the first round, and I have a problem with that. I mean, Alabama played like crap the last month, and then they had one great impressive game, and then they jumped Michigan, who was already two in the playoff rankings. I thought that was wrong, and it was typical college football, wanting Alabama, and Georgia to basically play in the championship, because Alabama basically gonna have a cakewalk in the first round now. So that's all I had to say. I want to see y'all comments on that.
You know what, Greg? I mean, I like the point that you're making. I mean, you look at Michigan's play over the last couple of weeks. I mean, now Penn State is no one to write home about right now. I mean, they're not even ranked, but they did go on the road and beat Penn State. They demolished Ohio State. They have been playing better than Alabama recently. They just been playing better. Simple as that. So there's a case that could be made that Michigan should be number one, and Alabama and Georgia should be at 2 or 3, and just play again. Play again in the semifinals.
What's more impressive, Alabama beating Georgia or Michigan beating Ohio State?
Well, Alabama beating Georgia, but I think the way Alabama has been playing for the last month leading up to that game makes Michigan more qualified, I think, to be number one, because Michigan had a great game against Ohio State, who at the time was, ranked 2? 2 or 3?
2 or 3.
Yeah, so if we're making it about the eye test, and if we're making it about how you play week in and week out, and who you play and beat, I think when you weigh all of that and mix it all together, I think Michigan has a slight edge over Alabama, especially in the last 4 or 5 weeks of the season.
Yeah, the reason I ask what I ask is because I think wins matter more to the committee, and I guess they view beating the number one Georgia Bulldogs, even though they didn't look like the number one team on Saturday, I guess they view that as more impressive than beating Ohio State. Because I agree with you, I do think Michigan has passed the eye test more than Alabama the last month or so.
Yeah, I mean, Michigan has put together 2 dominant performances. One in the rivalry game against Ohio State, and then they demolished Iowa in the Big Ten championship game, 42-3. So, I mean, they have outscored their last 2 opponents, 84-30. I would go Michigan number one, but that's just me. I thought Greedy brought up a good point there. Let's go back to the phones, and let's get to Justin in Florida. Justin, good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning, guys. How we doing?
What's up?
Not much. Yeah, I definitely agree with that last caller. Michigan's case for number one is pretty strong with the way they've played over the last month. Alabama definitely pulled it together for that last game, but I don't know. The last month that they've played definitely isn't as consistent as Michigan. But question for you guys: when do the NFL draft grades come out? Does anyone know? And I'm asking because when we might know official decision on Hooker, whether he's staying or going.
I do not know that answer. I think when you submit your evaluation, I don't know how much time it takes to get back. I don't know if it's a thing where everyone gets their evaluation back from the NFL at the same time, or it depends on when you sent it in of when you get it back. I'm not really sure exactly when, and I'm pretty sure you're asking this because of Hendon Hooker. I'm not really sure when he's going to get that back. But I can ask.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, it's just more curiosity thing. Especially going into this bowl game, we're going to need as many hands on deck. I mean, we're already out, our number one corner in a game that's probably going to see a lot of pass attempts by Purdue, and I definitely would feel a lot better rolling in there with Hooker in shotgun than say maybe like a Joe Milton. But one last thing I wanted to throw out there: when's that official narrative going to come down about Kirby Smart and not being able to handle a quarterback room very well? Because I am shocked he left Stetson Bennett out there for the entire 4 quarters. I'm actually kind of surprised that as the season went along, he didn't get JT Daniels at least some snaps, get him ready. You look back at Kirby's past and, having Justin Fields walk out the door, having what's his name? What's that the kid with the big arm that went to Washington?
Jacob Eason.
Jacob Eason, thank you. I always forget his name. But, having him walk out the door because you want to settle with more the game manager type and Jake Fromm. It just seems like they keep coming up short in the big stages, and you can point a lot of fingers to quarterback when they've got, an entire roster. They got a defense, they got some wide receivers, they got a running game. It's amazing more people haven't drawn light to that. But I'm going to hang up and listen to the rest of the show. Appreciate your all's work. Take care.
All right, thank you, Justin. So I'm not surprised that Kirby stayed with Stetson Bennett, because I know that Kirby knew that even with losing this game against Alabama, that they would still be in the college football playoff and they would still have a chance to win a national championship. And you let him finish the game, and if he wins it, great. If he doesn't, then that will tell you, if you don't win, and he's a big reason why, all right, now we need to maybe go with JT. I'll be more surprised if JT is not in there in the semifinals, if he's not playing. Arm-wise, he gives you more, but you lose with his legs. But he's accurate, though, man. That throw that Stetson Bennett tried to make to tight end, which, man, that boy right there, he will not be there for 4 years. That dude is
best tight end in the country
already. He's the best tight end in the country. But the tight end obviously messed up.
Brock Bowers.
Yeah. Brock Bowers messed up. He didn't, cross the defender's face on the crossing route. Tried to stop, and I don't think they have that in their offense where you're able to kind of choke it down on a crossing route like that. You kind of got to cross that guy's face. But Stetson shouldn't even threw it over there anyways, to be honest. He should have got off of that and went to your next progression or ran the ball. So 2 bad mistakes for Stetson Bennett that cost Georgia the game. Knowing that, because this is the second time this has happened. Once last year against Alabama on the road, and then Saturday in the championship game. If I'm Kirby Smart, I'm looking at JT Daniels, and maybe I'm putting him in. That's how I'm looking at it. But
yeah,
we'll see.
I don't think Stetson played as bad as everybody's making him out to be. I think he's an easy scapegoat. I thought the biggest issue was the defense didn't live up to the hype. The Georgia defense, particularly the Georgia defensive front, got punked. I mean, they looked awful on Saturday. Jordan Davis, I mean, some of the clips going around of him are embarrassing. And he lost money on Saturday. And, again, like I said earlier, that's against an Alabama offensive line who couldn't block anybody the last month of the season. So I don't think Stetson Bennett is a championship-level quarterback at all. And he had his mistakes on Saturday, not trying to say that. I just think the bigger issues were on the defensive side of the ball.
In the first half.
Yeah.
In the first half, it was defense. Second half, it was Stetson Bennett in that offense. You can't score 7 points in the second half of a football game, in a championship game, and expect to win. I mean, Alabama, they only scored 10 points on offense there in the second half. So defense made adjustments. Defense handled their business. They didn't do it in the first half because, Jameson Williams, goes for 184, and, Alabama's offense has some explosive plays. And that's very uncharacteristic from, Georgia allowing that. But they settled in the second half. You didn't see a bunch of that stuff, man. It was about Stetson Bennett. It was about that offense. And they just could not get it going. They just could not get to the end zone.
He's not a championship-level quarterback.
He's not. And that's
as simple as that.
And that's
He's a walk-on. He has to go to JUCO and then come back.
That has hurt Kirby's case of winning a championship. He has ran into a Hall of Fame coach who has at his disposal elite quarterback play. The last time they met, it was Tua and Jalen Hurts. This time, it's Bryce Young. That has been the difference between Georgia and Alabama. You better have a quarterback. Go look around the country, man. Look at Pitt. Elite quarterback, be the first guy off the board. You can't have bad quarterback play and go win stuff in 2021. Those days are over. You better have a quarterback. All right, let's get to the text box. Jamel says they will get punked again, y'all. I'm with Ben. Harbaugh is at least a better coach than Kirby. Coy Macon says I didn't see Stetson line up on defense not one time. Coach 30 crushed them boys in his video. Stetson didn't play well in the second half either when the game was within reach. So the game was like a tale of two games. First half, Georgia's defense got crushed. Second half, Georgia's defense settled down, made some stops, and Georgia's offense couldn't put up more than 7 points in the second half. It is both. It falls on both. Defense in the first half, offense, Stetson Bennett in the second half, 2 interceptions.
In regards to Alabama, Georgia playing better in the second half was also when John Mechie was no longer in the game because that injury to Mechie happened just before the half, and CBS showed him being emotional coming back out from the locker room during half and talking to Roman Harper and to some of his other teammates there on the sideline. So Georgia did pick it up in the second half, but in regards to Alabama, I wonder how much of that was a correlation with Mechie not being out there and Alabama's passing game being somewhat one-dimensional. And as I talked about earlier and mentioned with the Auburn game when Williams was out with the targeting, I mean, Alabama's offense becomes limited when just one of those guys are out there on the field. So, I don't think it'll matter against Cincinnati, but I wonder if that's really something to pay attention to against Michigan or Georgia in the national championship game.
I mean, Georgia was getting pressure on Bryce Young in the second half, too. So, stalling Alabama's offense out. But, Georgia they can't be stagnant on offense. They gotta put up points, and they didn't do that, man. Stetson Bennett had his worst half of the season, and they had to play a 4-quarter game. Georgia didn't have to play a 4-quarter game for any part of the season except for like Clemson. And Alabama has been in some tough games late. So maybe that experience helped them be able to play in the fourth quarter when usually Stetson Bennett is on the sideline, taking off his tape in the fourth quarter because they've blown teams out. When we get to the text box, Vol, Grizz Cuffs, has noticed Ben didn't mention Nolan. You keeping a secret or what? You talking about Walter Nolan? Listen, if you're talking about Walter Nolan, we just ain't thinking about Walter Nolan right now. I speak for myself. I'm not thinking about Walter Nolan because he's committed to Texas A&M, and I don't know if Tennessee really has a shot or if Tennessee wants to, play those games with this recruitment. Ben, if you want to mention anything about Walter Nolan's trip here, this trip down the street this weekend in Tennessee, man, you're more than welcome to do that. If not, I'll move on to the text box.
Yeah, I don't think there's much to add. I do think it's significant that he made it over to campus. Congrats to Powell for winning a state championship on Friday night over Page, and what looked like was a heck of a game there in the second half. I did not watch it. I just saw comments there on social media. But congrats to Powell.
For sure.
Congrats to Walter on winning a state championship. And I do think it is noteworthy that he made it over to campus the following morning, because there have been times where after a game he said that he would come over and he didn't. So sounds like Josh Heupel was doing his best to recruit Walter on Saturday and this weekend. And Tennessee is still swinging, and I think that they should keep swinging because Walter has the potential to be a great football player. But as you alluded to, Swain, as you and I have talked about a bunch over the last couple of weeks, I don't think Tennessee is going to be devastated if Walter does end up signing with A&M. It would be a great pickup, a great flip for Tennessee, but I don't know that they'll lose any sleep, as we have talked about ad nauseum, if he were to stay at A&M. But they're still trying to swing, and I do think it was noteworthy that he made it over to campus this weekend. It's just really hard to get a read on Walter because his interest has depended on the day of the week.
Hollow Rock Vol says, what are your thoughts on Javonte Peyton's comments on the Music City Bowl? Javonte is not thrilled about playing ball in Nashville. And he tweeted out, "Yay, Music City again," with a emoji that will signify that he's not necessarily thrilled about it. And my question is, why y'all in his mentions? Like, why y'all in his mentions? He's from Nashville. He probably doesn't want to go back home. He probably wants to play somewhere else. That doesn't mean that you need to jump in his mentions. Like, people use your brain and think a little bit before we hit send. Understand where the young man's coming from.
He played in the Music City Bowl.
And he's from Nashville. Like, he's from Nashville. He's played in this thing already. He's going back. Like, okay. Yeah, we happy we going to a bowl. But Javonte was just on this team for one season. He played there already, and he's from there. Going to a bowl game for players is experiencing a new city, seeing things that you haven't seen before. When you go out as a team together, like I remember when we went to Tampa, we went to Dallas, like going to the Mavericks game and going to team outings. Those are things that we did I've never done after playing ball. But Javonte, everything they're going to do in Nashville, he probably is already done. It doesn't require people to get into his comments, or get into his mentions, and then force him to have to come back with a tweet saying, y'all mad I don't want to go to the same bowl twice. Get over it. Like, golly, man.
Say it louder for the folks in the back, Javonte.
It's just, like, you can just put two and two together. Like, if you know your football team, you know the young man is from Nashville. He played at Mississippi State last year. He's been there before. There's people that got the news. I don't know who was doing backflips. I ain't seen anybody doing backflips in excitement to go to Nashville, to the Music City Bowl. So you feel a certain type of way, but you're gonna judge him for feeling the same way? I don't. That's why I don't get Twitter sometimes, man. I really don't. Like, sometimes you don't have to push in. You just don't have to. You can understand what the young man's talking about.
Mad about going to the Music City Bowl.
Why? We won 7 games. Where else we gonna go?
They're mad at Danny White because they're not going to a Florida Bowl game.
So we're mad at Danny White now?
Yes, because he didn't push hard enough to get the Tax Slayer Bowl or the Gator Bowl.
I know the payout's pretty good for Music City Bowl. So I'm not going to be mad at Danny White for the bowl that we're in. If we could have went to Florida, I know that Florida, we were in Tax Slayer Bowl a couple years ago. And do they want us to come back or not? I don't know, but I'm sorry, man. I just don't find stuff to get mad at. It's a great matchup against a team that puts up points just like you. I think this is a winnable game for Tennessee. I think Tennessee is more balanced on offense than Purdue. I think defensively they're going to present some challenges. They'll have some guys that probably won't play, either. What is their receiver David Bell going to do if he decides to come out? Will he play? If he does, then that's going to present some problems for Tennessee, and Tennessee will have plenty of time to address David Bell. But if he doesn't play, you're playing against a quarterback that is not mobile, and has hurt you all season long. I remember last time Tennessee played in the bowl game was against Indiana, and that kid from Indiana was hurting us with his legs. I don't think this kid from Purdue is going to be hurting us at all with his legs. So I like the matchup. I don't really have anything to complain about with the bowl game. It's a great opportunity to go out and win 8 games. For those who are selfish about, the destination, I understand. I understand if you want to go to Florida rather than going to Nashville. I get that. I totally get it. I understand. The Florida bowl game is better than, a bowl game in Nashville or Charlotte or Memphis. For some people, they want to go to the beach. I understand that and respect that. I get it. But I ain't getting mad about it. Hey, come on, man. I ain't getting mad.
It's all about perspective.
I'm getting mad about it. No.
It's all about perspective. This team was projected to win by some 3 or 4 football games, and they went 7-5, are going to the Music City Bowl, which is a pretty good bowl, and they have a chance to win 8 games. In year 1, under Josh Heupel, after all the transfers, after the NCAA crap, after firing Jeremy Pruitt, after all that, they are going 7-5 and going to a Music City Bowl, and people are out here complaining. This is not the year to complain. Be thankful.
Man, that's kind of what I'm on.
They're 7-5 and going to a bowl game when it felt like Tennessee football was dying in February. Felt like it was dead in February. And they're going to one of the better bowls in the country, and it's not like there's some 7-5 team going to the Florida Bowls. It's a 9-3 Kentucky team and an 8-4 Texas A&M team.
Yeah, those teams deserve to be there.
Yes.
I mean, that's why I don't understand. Like, did we have an option to go to Florida, and we were like, nah, we good. We just gonna go to Nashville. Because when I look at Kentucky and when I look at Texas A&M, their record is better than ours. They should have first dibs. If it's about record, it's about season performance and the result. Now, if it's more about fan base traveling than it is about results, then hey, I mean, Tennessee will make both those fan bases look weak. But I'm good with Music City Bowl. I'm good with the opponent. I feel what Javonte Peyton is talking about because he's from Nashville. It doesn't require tweeting at him. That dude can have his opinion. That's his opinion. That's how he feels. And he ain't wrong. He don't want to go back to a place he's lived his entire life.
And played in 2 years ago.
Yeah, like I get it. I get it. He wasn't here before. He didn't experience all the crap. So people tweet him saying, be thankful. No. You don't have to be thankful because he wasn't part of this crap 2 years ago or a year ago. He just got here. K. Mays happy about being in Nashville, though. K. Mays is happy about being in Nashville. That's where he wanted to go all along.
Is he going to play?
I don't know.
I hope so because they have a first-round potential defensive end edge rusher. Could really use Cade Mays in this one.
I don't know, man. I don't know. We got one Tennessee Prime that we got to do.
When are we doing that?
We haven't had the Tennessee Prime board meeting yet, so I'm thinking soon. I'm not sure if it's going to be tomorrow or not. So maybe next Tuesday. I haven't gotten the memo on that though. But man, the K Mays, that's gonna be interesting, man. That'll be interesting. All right, let's get to Mac. Mac, good morning.
Hey, I just want to say this. I went to all 3 days of the state championship games down here in Chattanooga, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all I want to say is this: everybody that's all about the stars and the rankings and all that stuff for players. I'm not saying no names.
Mm-hmm. I know you're going.
You might want to just watch these dudes play before you get mad that we ain't getting them. Don't watch highlights. Go watch a game, and then see if you still. That's all I gotta say. I'll let y'all talk.
I feel you. Yeah, I feel you, man. Those stars you gotta take with a grain of salt. Those stars. A lot of it is projecting where a player's going to be in 3 or 4 years. Some of it is not so much of where they are right now. You got to take it with a grain of salt. You really do. Thanks for the phone call. Colorado Vol said, let's talk about Kenny Chandler ripping Colorado apart. Oh, we did. We started the show talking about that. Kenny and Chandler, oh, boy, what a joy. I mean, they had Jacobson, former Stanford great. Well, he was a baller when he was at Stanford. Analyst there for Fox. I mean, had him floored, blown away by Kennedy Chandler. He was efficient. The only thing you can knock him on is that he was 1 for 6 from the 3-point line. And he only had 1 assist. And he had 2 turnovers. I mean, that's if you want to knock him, you can knock him on that. That he didn't have a 2-to-1 turnover to assist ratio. You can knock him on that. He didn't shoot the ball great from 3. But that's the only thing. If you were really want to be picky and choosy and you know, try to be negative, but boy, he was efficient. He was in control, and he got a bucket anytime he wanted to. He got to his spot, and that behind the back, pull back, jump, fade away, step back in the the second half to finish the game, to put a little bow on the game was beautiful. The step back, behind the back, step back jumper, oh, so pretty. NBA quality move. NBA quality. Let's get to Tramel. Tramel, good morning.
Yo.
What's up?
How y'all doing, man?
We great. We great. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm about to get cop these tickets to this bowl game.
How much the tickets?
They high. the ones I seen, it's like $200 to get like some good seats, like everything. And I've never been to the Titan Stadium. You know, even we're going to a game here later in the season, but I don't know how the stadium sits. But the nosebleed areas are the cheapest ones, and they like start at like 100, 85. Like 85 is the starting price of them. But I think they up there though, man. I think they up there though. Like I said, I ain't never been to the Titan Stadium. I don't know how it kind of fits. I know our stadium sits up hot. Well, it did. I don't know what all they're gonna do to the renovations and whatnot. But you know, some of the stadiums sit up different. Like, so I don't know if theirs like sit up high and you're like way up, or you know what I'm saying. So I try to get the little bird's eye view on it, but it really don't give you the, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I got you. I mean, there, you know where to sit in Tennessee Stadium because you have the jumbotron. I'm not really familiar with the Titan Stadium either to know, like, do you need to sit opposite the jumbotron? Where is the jumbotron? I'm not real familiar. I've been inside the stadium. I think
what was the question I was answering
once or twice. Where to sit? Like, what's the best place to sit in the Titans?
Tennessee will be on the east sideline. So,
well, that usually don't matter.
Well, the best place to sit.
I usually like to sit caddy corner so I can see the plays develop. I don't like to sit like on the sideline, like side. I don't usually like that seat on the side. I like to sit like, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, I'm excited, man. I was trying to. I'm like, man, I guess I'm trying. You know, I got to get 4 tickets. So I'm just like, dang. All right, man, we gonna probably be up there. You know what I'm saying? But on the recruiting thing though, so we already didn't trust it, right? Like from the dude making the fake, you know what I'm saying, giving himself stars and you know, rankings and whatever happened, you know what I'm saying.
I trust some of it, not all of it.
Stuff, right. But I'm saying, still, the point I'm trying to make is like the COVID stuff. I mean, if they was barely, you know what I'm saying, recruiting then, you know what I'm saying, they probably was, I mean, not recruiting, but scouting, you know what I'm saying, the scouting, like you said, I really ain't paying attention to stars this year just because of all that aspect of it. And there's a bunch of scouts probably wasn't going to look at kids or was barely doing write-ups on kids or was calling people asking about kids, which is way worse. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. That's just my little 2 cents on it, and I'm excited about some of these kids. Cause I've been it's been fun because you got to go kind of look at the tape. I know the last caller was like talking about look at games, but you know, we're not able to get to some of the games. But it's good to kind of go look at the tapes because I don't know, most fans don't really look at like me. I like to go look up the highlights and stuff, man. But I guess that's just coaching me. But yeah, that's my little 2 cents, man. And I just, like I said, I feel like it's going to be different year this year as far as recruits go, and they're going to bring in players that's going to help win now and for the future. So I'm super excited for it, man. I think he's going to be all right recruiting here. I mean, Tennessee does recruit itself when you're being successful, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's a whole lot easier when you win in Tramel, and thanks so much for the phone call. The thing about the recruiting rankings, I just don't give the rankings access to control my feelings that like some folks. Because I'm not going to sit here and say that they're all wrong. I'm not going to sit here and say that they don't matter, because there's times when they do matter, and there's times when they don't matter. This conversation has a lot of gray area in it. It's not black and white to me. Do the rankings matter? Yes. Are there times when they don't matter? Yes. Should the coaches always listen to the evaluators? No. But are there times they should listen? Yes. Like, there's sometimes when the coaches don't see a kid, know a kid, but there's people with boots on the ground that have discovered a player and gave the player a profile, and boom, he blows up, and the coaches all across the country just missed him. That happens too. The point is, I'm not giving my feelings to the recruiting rankings that easily. Like, I'm not letting one star change my mood on a player when that player could have a 3-star because the new rankings haven't been updated, or that person missed it. That person just didn't know he was looking at. Like, I'm just not letting a star impact my emotions that much. I do think if you want to compete for a championship, and this is where you go look at the rankings and it checks out. The teams that recruit in the top 10, teams that are at the top in the SEC, as far as team rankings, those are teams that have better rosters. Those are teams that compete for championships. That's one thing that has been tried and true for over a decade. The proof is in the pudding. But I'm not going to get up and down emotionally about an individual player's ranking. If a kid commits and he's just a 3-star, I'm not going to be like, oh, man, he ain't good enough. How do you know? Did you watch the film? Do you know anything about him? No, you don't. You just took this analyst's word for it. I'm not doing that. I'm not taking an analyst's word for it without looking at it myself. I will take his opinion. His opinion will be factored into mine. But I'm not just going to let one analyst just control my emotions. That's what I mean. I see D.R. Vol waiting. D.R. Vol, good morning. What's up, D.R. Vol?
Guys, how y'all?
Great, man. It's starting to rain a little bit, but it's all good.
Yeah, heads up, man. That storm hit us last night, and I didn't get a lot of sleep. It's a little loud. So luckily, I can get y'all during the day.
Oh.
So I hear we're whining on Twitter again. You know, I think it's funny you saying that about Vol fans, man. We're Vol fans on Twitter. We're in 2 stages. We either are mad or we're getting mad. And to get mad about Javonte Peyton not wanting to go to national conference, man, and getting mad at Danny White, we look for more reasons to get mad at that guy. And I love seeing the people think, well, he's not one of us. He thinks he's better than us. Well, the last guy that was one of us cratered our program. And unless you've met Danny White, you don't really have an opinion.
God,
to me, not a factual-based opinion. You know, I got to meet him when I went over there with you at South Alabama. He couldn't have been nicer, man. He asked my kids questions, and knowing he didn't ultimately care what a 9-year-old and 7-year-old thought, but he interacted with them and made them feel special. It just amazes me, man, some of our fans. Well, it doesn't surprise me. I'm going on a rant. It doesn't surprise me that we tweeted at Javonte. We've got fans and listeners of this show that will tweet and DM recruits, which is ultimate cringe to me.
We live in a society that thrives more on negativity than positivity, and it drives me crazy because I am the total opposite. I am a glass half full person. I am a positive person, and it kills me how our society just thrives off of negativity. It is so annoying.
Well, that is annoying too. But what we do is, like, we create narratives out of nowhere. Like, it's created from something, someone, and like this. Remember this thing about Rick Barnes not recruiting? Like, that was created. Tennessee, the NIL stuff, that was just created. People started believing it, and it had a little life of its own, and it was false. It just wasn't true. And here's another one that looks like it's trying to be created. Like, oh, Danny White has listened to everyone. They've had focus groups. He's listened to everyone. Former player, current players, people that was here before. Like, he has sat down and listened to everyone and taken everybody's opinion in consideration, which is why a lot of the things that we're doing at the stadium is from, like, fan input. I saw where a fan tweeted him, was like, hey, man, let's put a live stream in the stadiums, so we can see the progress. He was like, oh, that's a good idea. I'm on it. So, like, you can't fall back on that. Danny's not one of us. Stop with that. Stop.
You know who we are, Swain? That scene in Major Payne where he's in the hotel room looking at the rat, saying he's got an itch, but the problem is he ain't got nothing to scratch.
Golly, So when players from California that want to come to Tennessee, you don't hear people saying, "Well, he's not one of us." You want good players that are not one of us, but an AD or coach who's not one of us, you have a problem with them. As long as the job is getting done, that's all that matters. Who cares if they one of us?
It's the complete opposite of what we had before.
Yeah. When you win and you do a good job, you become one of us more than anything else. So just stop being goofy.
Well, I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I am calling in to ask a question. Not really to complain or stir the pot, but it is a question. If you can't answer it, just hang up on me. Why is Fulmer still going to things at the university when he's part of the reason we're under investigation?
It's weird. It's weird, man. I thought it would be a little bit more time passed before we started to see public appearances. Listen, I'm just being honest with you. It is a little weird. It's
very weird. I don't like it.
I mean, at the end of the day, Philip Fulmer still loves Tennessee. So, why can't he attend a basketball game?
No, it's not. It's the sitting like courtside as if he's when he's still the AD. Like, I understand what D.R. Vol is saying. I don't have a problem with it, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I don't understand what D.R. Vol is talking about. Like, Tennessee was under investigation. It was terrible what happened. Coach Fulmer was fired from being an AD, and it's like it's never happened. For perception-wise, so I get what D.R. Vol is saying. I don't have a problem with Coach Fulmer, going to games or whatever, do whatever you want to do. But like, I understand what D.R. Vol is saying. Something that happened like that, maybe you fall back a little bit, and not be so public. But that's not the case. I get what you're saying, D.R. Vol. I get it.
Well, guys, I'm going to end with this. Swain, when y'all do Tennessee Prime, maybe you can get Fulmer back on to update us on recruiting. Y'all have a good day.
See, there you go. There you go. Now, when Coach was fired the first time, and he went to Cancun, and maybe that's why he's not doing that this time. He's like, listen, man, I'm not doing that. I've accomplished a lot. Obviously, I wasn't perfect. I wasn't perfect as an AD. I tried. But I'm not going to not come to these things. I'm getting too old. Life is too short. I can see him taking that approach. I can see him taking that approach too. But I understand what you're saying, D.R. Vol, and I understand anyone who has that same take. I don't necessarily have that take though. Hour 3, powered by Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Live here at Beatty Chevrolet. Never pay over MSRP for new vehicles. BeattyChevrolet.com. Stay with us.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. Firms from Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham have stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local law firm? A true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. They are our neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at GarzaLaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help. Hey, it's Men's Health Month, so make sure to get all your levels tested with a comprehensive annual health assessment at Low T Center. They exclusively specialize in men's wellness. Low T Center now offers monitored self-inject at-home testosterone treatments for just $155 a month, self-pay, or is covered by most health insurance. And they ship directly to your home. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment. That's lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare. Fellas, when it's time to freshen up that wardrobe, there's only one play to make, and that's to go see my friends at Mark Nelson Denim in downtown Knoxville. Find the latest in small batch denim in the heart of Knoxville. Denim isn't all they do, though. Mark Nelson also does custom suiting and blazers. Let your personal style shine with Mark Nelson. If you don't have time to go shopping for yourself but still want that fresh look, then sign up for the NN Society. Let the experts handle the shopping and get $300 worth of merchandise for just $150 every other month. That's 6 times per year to keep you looking styling every day. Let Mark Nelson Denim help you be the best you, because when you look good, you feel good. Go to marknelsondenim.com.
At Iris Networks, we know that business communication solutions are critical to your success. Since 1998, we've been helping businesses in East Tennessee by providing reliable and affordable high-speed fiber internet and voice solutions. That's why Iris Networks is your Tennessee communications partner. With internet speeds up to 100 gigs and work-from-anywhere solutions like mobile apps, video conferencing, and file sharing, we make sure you can stay connected to your customers and great communities we live and work in. Iris Networks, because just like you, Tennessee is our home.
If you're coming to Knoxville and need a place to stay, do yourself a favor and book a room at Hampton Inn Paper Mill, also known as the Hampton on the Hill. This award-winning property is literally in the top 5% of all Hampton Inn properties. The GM, Stephen Lawrence, is a good old local boy who grew up in the business around Knoxville. He and his staff are always available, always willing to help, and will go above and beyond for their guests. The newest Hampton Inn in Knoxville has clean, affordable rooms, flat screens, fridges, and microwaves in every room. Plus, breakfast is included in every rate. Not to mention, there's also a pool and fitness center on site. If it wasn't so close to amazing restaurants, bars, and shopping, you would never want to leave. At only 6 miles from campus, you're still right in where the big orange action is. Go to HamptonInn.com, search Knoxville, and book your room at the Hampton Inn Paper Mill, or call 865-693-5400. We're here with Dr. Michael Carlson of Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine to discuss PRP, platelet-rich plasma. If you have orthopedic injuries such as shoulder pain, knee pain, Achilles tendonitis, or tennis elbow, you should give them a call.
Good to be back, Jason. We specialize in non-surgical orthopedics, so we treat damaged tendons, ligaments, and joints, including rotator cuff injuries, knee injuries, and elbow and foot problems by using ultrasound-guided injections with PRP. And this form of treatment helps stimulate the body's own reparative process and assist in the healing of damaged tissue.
Doc, what makes your training different than others?
I've been practicing in Knoxville for over 26 years, and I'm certified in interventional regenerative orthopedic medicine through the American Academy of Orthopedic Medicine. They've been the leader in this form of treatment since 1983. I also teach this form of treatment on a national and international basis to other physicians, residents, and medical students. Here in our clinic, I'm the one doing the procedure, and we're using your own PRP, which are concentrated platelets, to treat your injury. So in other words, Jason, it comes from you and it goes back to you. So you know exactly what you're getting and know exactly the level of training involved.
Do what the pros, college athletes, and I have done, and visit them online at trsportsmedicine.com. Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, East Tennessee's leader in PRP therapy.
Live at Beatty Chevrolet Parkside Drive, Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Let's get to around the SEC this morning, Ben, and what's standing out to you?
Yeah, just real quick before we get to Jay on the Iris Networks hotline, want to mention all the other bowl games that the SEC will be participating in this bowl season. Missouri will be the first to play in a bowl game. On Wednesday, December 22nd, they are playing in the Armed Forces Bowl against Army, baby. Let's go. Army's going to beat down Navy this Saturday in the best college football game of the year. Army will be 9-3. They'll go over to the Armed Forces Bowl, and they'll beat the crap out of the nerd Eli Drinkwitz and finish with a 10-win season. That kicks off at 8 o'clock on ESPN. Army has opened as a 3.5-point favorite. On December 23rd, UCF will play Florida in the Gasparilla Bowl. Florida has opened as 7.5-point favorites We've got 2 games on December 28th. Houston, number 20 Houston, is playing Auburn in the Birmingham Booty Bowl, and Auburn has opened as 3-point favorites.
Man, what about those Auburn players? They gotta stay in the state of Alabama and go to Birmingham for their bowl game.
Ooh, should have seen the Alabama buddies in my group chat making fun of Auburn yesterday.
What is the Birmingham Bowl? It's called the Birmingham Bowl. That's right. Never mind.
Yes, it's the Ticket Smarter Birmingham Bowl. Now, I will say I assume that they're playing in the new stadium there, and they are Protective Stadium. They've built a brand new stadium for UAB, and it's really, really nice. Legion Field, they're no longer playing there. I don't know what the future holds for Legion Field. Maybe Vol and Birmingham can give us a message on the text box to let us know. Legion Field, obviously a historic venue for football in the South, but they've built this new protective stadium for UAB, and it's right next to the Topgolf there in Birmingham. And when I was in Birmingham for SEC Media Days, my wife and I and some of our friends went to that Topgolf, which is right next to the new UAB stadium, and it's really, really nice, Wayne. I'll tell you that. So at least they get to play in a new stadium is my point. Instead of old Legion Field.
That's one way to look at it.
Mississippi State is playing Texas Tech in the Liberty Bowl on the same day as the Birmingham Bowl. Mississippi State has opened as 8-point favorites over Texas Tech. On the 30th, which is the same day as Tennessee playing in the Music City Bowl, Tennessee will kick off at 3 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. Tennessee is 2.5-point favorites from what I'm looking at. The other bowl game that day is North Carolina and South Carolina in the Duke's Mayo Bowl in Charlotte, which will that should be a fun game. North Carolina going up against South Carolina, that'll be fun. North Carolina has opened up as a 7-point favorite.
North Carolina?
Yes.
Let's go Tar Heels.
That's right. Go Tar Heels. Let's go Mac Brown. The day after the Music City Bowl, a.k.a. Christmas Eve, is the big one. That is the day of the college football playoffs. Cincinnati and Alabama will play in the Cotton Bowl in Dallas at 3:30 p.m. on ESPN. Alabama has opened as 13.5-point favorites. Georgia and Michigan will then play in the Orange Bowl down in Miami. That one will kick off at 7:30 p.m. on ESPN. Georgia is 7.5-point favorites. Early in the day, Wake Forest and Texas A&M will play in the Gator Bowl at 11 a.m. That's a matchup of 2 top 25 teams. Wake Forest, number 17, A&M, number 25. A&M has opened as 5-point favorites.
Yeah, like A&M
on New Year's Day, we've got 3 games, Penn State and Arkansas. In the Outback Bowl, Penn State has opened as 3-point favorites. Number 15, Iowa versus number 22, Kentucky in the Citrus Bowl at 1 p.m. on ABC. Iowa, a 1-point favorite. Number 7, Baylor versus number 8, Ole Miss in the Sugar Bowl. Baylor 11-2, Ole Miss 10-2. That one will kick off at 8:45 Eastern on ESPN. Ole Miss 1.5-point favorites. And then the final SEC bowl game is on Tuesday, January 4th, LSU versus Kansas State in the Texas Bowl. That game kicks off at 9 Eastern on ESPN. So a lot of bowl action for the SEC, which has 13 of its 14 participants playing in a bowl game.
That Iowa-Kentucky game, oof, boy, what a snoozer.
I'm excited for it. Top 25 matchup, 2 similar styles of football going up against each other. Sign me up for it all day long.
Yeah, it's still gonna be boring. Still watch it, but it'll be boring.
Sign me up for all the college football. Pump it into my veins. There are some basketball scores worth mentioning from over the weekend, Swain.
Oh, yeah.
How about Alabama having a big day, both on the football field and on the basketball court, beating number 3 Gonzaga 91-82 out in Seattle.
They was on fire, shooting the basketball.
I'm going to keep it moving. I'm not going to ruin my vibe this morning but by talking Alabama athletics. Vanderbilt blew a lead to SMU. Vanderbilt was up on SMU 40-28 at halftime, and then SMU hung 56 points on Vanderbilt. 56 points hung on the Commodores in the second half. SMU comes back to win 84-72. Tennessee obviously took care of business by scoring 69 nice points on Colorado. But the result of the afternoon, Swain, the old Memphis Fighting Penny Hardaway Tigers slid on down the interstate to Oxford, Mississippi, where they took a big old fat L to the Ole Miss Black Bears 67-63. Memphis now 5-3 on the season. They look absolutely abysmal. Penny Hardaway can't stop throwing his players under the bus, can't stop admitting that he's a bad coach, saying that if he'd been playing the players that care the most all season, Memphis would be undefeated. Penny, it's your job to play the best players that are going to help you win a basketball game.
That care. Well,
he's acting like he doesn't want to be the coach anymore.
Hey, man. And it's a bad look when your all-world freshman is trying to fight your fans in the stands, too.
Yes, and when it shows a huddle coming back from a timeout and Penny's too busy arguing with Alex Lomax and Larry Brown's trying to get Penny's attention, he's tugging on Penny's shirt, tapping him on the back, trying to get his attention to coach up the team during the timeout in the huddle, which is what most coaches do. I know the good Deacon Rick Barnes does it, and then Tennessee comes out and drains a Josiah Jordan-James 3 to put the game away, essentially. I mean, that's what good coaches do. But Penny's out here arguing with a player in the middle of a timeout, and they have a very unproductive timeout.
The 18th, right? That's when we play the Tigers?
Yes, and I'll tell you right now, if Tennessee loses that daggone basketball game, I'm going to be madder than a hornet's nest. There's absolutely no reason for Tennessee to lose this game to Memphis. I will be livid if Tennessee loses to Memphis.
Oh, I'll be hot.
No reason.
What else you got there?
Just one more thing, and that's that Lane Kiffin has agreed to a contract extension in the range of $7.5 annually. This was announced right as the SEC championship game came to an end.
Man,
Slow reported it, and Ole Miss released it.
Oh yeah. So looks like Lane will be staying at Ole Miss. Arkansas lands receiver transferred Jaden Hazelwood from OU, the former 5-star receiver from the state of Georgia. So big pickup for Sam Pittman. A little bit of outside the SEC, but Indiana quarterback Michael Penix Jr. is entering the transfer portal as well.
Tennessee commit.
Also, Adrian Martinez entered the transfer portal, the quarterback from Nebraska, also a former Tennessee commit. So a lot of stuff going on around the weekend. Let's get back to the phones, and let's get to Jay.
Swaino.
What's up, Jay?
Is this not the craziest college football off-season coaching search? It's the craziest I've ever seen.
It is crazy. Miami? What? Miami is so disrespectful.
Yeah, what's with Miami? All of a sudden they want to start spending Alabama money and start getting serious about football?
No, everybody's doing that. What's crazy is they have a coach in Man Diaz they have not fired. And it's it's been public that they are pursuing Mario Cristobal, that he's going to accept it, that he's going to be the next coach, how much he's going to make. They have already hired the Clemson AD. So, it's crazy because, Dabo has lost his defense coordinator. Brent Venables is at OU. He's lost his AD. He may lose his offensive coordinator to either Duke or Virginia. And in Miami, he's out here hiring coaches, and they still have a coach that they haven't fired.
Well, I mean, you heard about Miami. I see. Last I saw of it before all this happened was the Miami AD search was a mess. That all these board of trustees and boosters were trying to have their say. It was just it was a complete mess. And then they go and pull one of the top ADs in the country, and they go and pull one of the top coaches in the country at the same time. I mean, that's pretty impressive. And it makes me wonder what's going to happen to Clemson, because the thing that Dabo has had, he's had the coaching continuity, and he's been able to go into Georgia. He has to go into other states because South Carolina doesn't produce that much top-end talent. He has to go into Georgia, and he's made a living in South Florida. Georgia's pretty, they're saying like Georgia's pretty much cut him off with Kirby, with a lot of these top-end guys. And then if you get Cristobal down there in Miami, and then you got all the coaching moves that he's dealing with, what happens to Clemson?
That's a good question, man. I mean, Clemson has shown that they have not adapted or been willing to adapt with the transfer portal. What's going to happen moving forward? Because Clemson has been a place where you've had continuity with that coaching staff, and for Tony Elliott to turn down Tennessee, a year ago, and then this year leave to go to Duke.
What does that tell you?
Exactly. Exactly. Or leave to go to Virginia. I mean, you have a chance to be in the SEC, and Dabo got into his ear. He got into Tony Elliott's ear and got Tony Elliott to stay. And now Tony Elliott is in serious talks with Duke and possibly looked at by Virginia and may leave. And so, I don't know, man. I don't know what Dabo's going to do and how he's going to adjust, but he is going to need to adjust. He's paid like a top 2, top 3 coach, and it's not to go out there and win 7 or 8 games.
Well, and then you got Brian Kelly down there trying to imitate Foghorn Leghorn and at his basketball presser, and gets rid of Coach Moffitt. I don't know
what was that about. Tommy Moffitt is one of the best in the business. Tommy Moffitt has been the one constant at LSU through thick and thin, through championships, through coaching searches, and you get rid of a top 5 strength coach?
Yeah, I mean, you see LSU fans saying, well, his methods are outdated. Dude, you can't even bend down and touch your toes. How do you know if his methods are outdated?
They don't know that.
I mean, yeah, they have no idea about
they have no
that.
clue.
I mean, so
can he come to Knoxville?
They're not. I mean, they're not. But yeah, Brian Kelly's just off to a great start. So
that's a questionable move right there.
That was a very questionable move. And if I was Cristobal at Miami, that'd be the first guy I called.
First.
Because, Coach Moffitt used to be down there at Miami. That would be the first dude I called. So it's crazy, Swain. But, yeah, I'm interested to see what happens to Clemson because, if Cristobal goes to Miami, Georgia and South Florida are 2 areas that they have made a living on. And how does that affect Clemson? But there's just something – look, they got 2 college generational type quarterbacks back to back.
Yeah.
And it really helped them. And those guys just don't go on trees. And there's just something that I think the ground is kind of shifting underneath Dabo's feet. And there's just something that I believe maybe they're not going to be the same Clemson they once were, but we'll see. Y'all hang in there.
Hey, thank you, Jay. I mean, players have more power now, so we'll see how these coaches adapt. The Dabo Sweeneys, I mean, they were great when players didn't have a lot of power. Now they have more power than ever. So how will that affect Dabo? Nick Saban's going to adjust. He's going to adapt. He always does. But what about some of the other coaches? How will they adapt to players having more power? We're going to see. We'll go back to the text box. We're taking your phone calls. 865-255-03. Hour 3, powered by Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Stay with us.
At work, can't call in? Don't feel bad. You can talk to the guys in the text box. It's part of the free Swain Event app.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. Firms from Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham have stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local law firm? You know, your neighbor. Marcos Garza pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. They are our neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
Litter is a big problem in Tennessee, but together we can do big things. We can make our cities, our waterways, our roads cleaner and safer. The Tennessee Department of Transportation is committed to reducing litter in our communities, but we need your help to do it. There are over 100 million pieces of litter in our roads at any given time, and it costs TDOT about $19 million a year just to clean it up. The first step to keeping Tennessee beautiful is to rally behind these 3 simple words. Nobody trashes Tennessee. Join the Nobody Trashes Tennessee movement at nobodytrashestennessee.com. JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799.
Is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you. Hello, is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you.
What are you doing?
Calling around to get the best rate on a car loan.
Why? Everyone knows Alcoa 10 is the best choice to purchase a vehicle or refinance your current loan. And with low interest rates and 90 days to your first payment, it's a no-brainer. You can even apply online and sign all the documents from the convenience of your home.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Alcoa 10 Credit Union. It's so easy. Go to atfcu.com for details. Rates are dependent on credit score and equal housing lender.
We're here with Dr. Michael Carlson of Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine to discuss PRP, platelet-rich plasma. If you have orthopedic injuries such as shoulder pain, knee pain, Achilles tendonitis, or tennis elbow, you should give them a call.
Good to be back, Jason. We specialize in non-surgical orthopedics, so we treat damaged tendons, ligaments, and joints, including rotator cuff injuries, knee injuries, and elbow and foot problems by using ultrasound-guided injections with PRP. And this form of treatment helps stimulate the body's own reparative process and assist in the healing of damaged tissue.
Doc, what makes your training different than others?
I've been practicing in Knoxville for over 26 years, and I'm certified in interventional regenerative orthopedic medicine through the American Academy of Orthopedic Medicine. They've been the leader in this form of treatment since 1983. I also teach this form of treatment on a national and international basis to other physicians, residents, and medical students. Here in our clinic, I'm the one doing the procedure, and we're using your own PRP, which are concentrated platelets, to treat your injury. So in other words, Jason, it comes from you and it goes back to you. So you know exactly what you're getting and know exactly the level of training involved.
Do what the pros, college athletes, and I have done, and visit them online at trsportsmedicine.com. Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, East Tennessee's leader in PRP therapy.
Good morning, Swain Event family. Several of you, like Ben McKee, have reached out to me for real estate assistance this year, and I want to say thank you. I appreciate your trust in me to ask questions and help you navigate the real estate world.
That's right, Jennifer. Buying a home is a scary process, especially for a first-time home buyer. Jennifer recently helped my wife and I buy our first home and made the entire process seamless. Her willingness to go above and beyond is what sets her apart.
As always, feel free to give me a call. Jennifer Morris, Keller Williams Realty, 865-257-7897, or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com.
I just wanted to come by and congratulate you on the great work you've been doing.
I like your style. You remind me of a young me.
Failure is not an option.
That boy is good.
Hope, remind yourself, nobody built like you. You design yourself.
Attaboy. Attaboy is brought to you by Made in Tennessee Business Fiber Internet from Iris Networks. Find business solutions for you at irisnetworksusa.com.
Time for Attaboy here on the program. Swain Event fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Attaboy is brought to you by Iris Networks. Their website, irisnetworksusa.com. Go to their website and see how they can help your business. They are a Tennessee business that is connecting Tennessee businesses. Fiber internet and voice. 90 days, no payment for business internet. I'm giving an Attaboy today to Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions. Not because they got the first victory of the season, but because when they got their first victory of the season, they have dedicated their win to the victims of the deadly Oxford school shooting there in Michigan. The Lions rallied and beat the Vikings 29-27. Dan Campbell was on the podium after the game and said that the game ball went to the community of Oxford. So I'm just giving the Detroit Lions, Dan Campbell, an attaboy for not only just winning the game, but their dedication to, them giving the game ball to the victims of the school shooting. So that's where my attention is for attaboy today.
That was my attaboy.
That was what you got too?
Had the same attaboy, but ETSU football also gets an attaboy because the Bucks beat Kennesaw State 32-31 on Saturday afternoon to advance to the third round of the FCS playoffs. They will play North Dakota State at 12 this Saturday on ESPN. On ESPN, Randy Sanders will be playing in the third round of the FCS playoffs. And that Kennesaw State game was absolutely wild. It kicked off at 4 o'clock right as the Tennessee basketball game was ending, and I threw it on my second television to watch while I was watching the SEC championship game. And ETSU had gotten out to a 17-7 lead. Their running back had one of the best runs you'll see in football this year where he had like a 30, 40-yard touchdown run and ran through 4 or 5 tackles. It was an amazing run. But then Kennesaw State stormed back and took a 2-touchdown lead, and I actually cut the game off. I thought it was over. ETSU was down by 2 scores, 7 minutes to go. I was like, oh, well, they ain't winning this one. So I turned it off, and the next thing I know, I'm scrolling Twitter, and ETSU football's Twitter account is talking about how they converted a 2-point attempt to take the lead and win the game. Pretty incredible stuff by ETSU to storm back and like I just said, to not only score to somewhat tie the game. Obviously, they needed an extra point to actually tie the game, but instead of going for the tie, they went for 2 and won the game on a 2-point conversion. Maybe Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews and John Harbaugh can take notes of how to successfully run a 2-point conversion to win a football game. But big attaboy to Randy Sanders at ETSU. It was a really cool, emotional moment in Randy Sanders' press conference after the game when he said that 10 years ago to the day, Randy Sanders' dad passed away. And when ETSU went down by 2 scores, he told his dad that he was going to need some help. And sure enough, ETSU was able to recover an onside kick, I believe, and get the ball back and go down, score a touchdown, and successfully convert a 2-point conversion for the win. So that was cool to see everybody up in East Tennessee really, really happy.
That's right, man. Big Randy Sanders fan, happy for him, happy for that community. Billy Napier had his intro press conference at Florida. He talked about recruiting. I want to play what he said because I want to see if Josh Heupel would have said the same thing, would anybody have a problem with it? That's what I want to see. If Josh Heupel would have said the same exact thing, would we have a problem with his comments? That's what I want to know. 865-255-03 is our telephone number, and all right, let's play that.
We've got to sign around 25 players a year, right? And I think that there's enough out there. I think the important part here is that we don't get consumed with the stars, 4-star, 5-star. I think it's going to be more about evaluation, right? We're going to go through a very thorough evaluation process. And I think the last thing we need to do here is, make some mistakes. So, we'll probably, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't sign many at all, to be honest with you. But there may be a few out there that are willing to jump in here in the last minute. But let me say this about that. I think that, for me, I think it's important in recruiting that both sides understand each other, right?
What if Heupel would have said that, Ben?
I don't have a problem with what Billy Napier said. So I don't. There would have been an overreaction for sure. Just like there's already an overreaction to what Billy Napier said, there will continue to be an overreaction. So there would definitely be an overreaction to what Josh Heupel saying this had he said this. But I would like to know the exact question that was asked. I don't know for sure what he was asked, but it seems like he was asked about this particular recruiting class that he has just a week and a half to kind of put together in terms of the early signing period, and then January, February, he'll be able to do some work there as well. But Florida's not going to sign a bunch of 4- and 5-star guys. It's too late in the process for Florida to go out and sign a bunch of 4- and 5-star guys this recruiting cycle. And Florida's going to take guys that fans who are stargazers aren't going to be very happy about. So assuming that the question was only asked about this recruiting class, I don't have a problem with what Billy Napier said. I think everything he said was true.
Yeah, I do too. I do too. I mean, sometimes you can keep it too real, but that's the reality of the situation. I mean, you just hired a coach, and signing day is around the corner. What are you expected to do? So there's no reason to lie about it. You're not going to sign high-quality 4- and 5-star players at this moment. So Florida fans shouldn't be really upset about that. I don't think it's a huge deal. I just thought he was kind of being honest, and that was kind of the same scenario that played out for Tennessee and and Josh Heupel. So and it normally plays out that way for a first-year head coach, especially that's being hired a week or so before early signing period. So I know it's Florida. I know it's easy to ridicule and hate everything they do and poke holes in everything they do, but I don't have a problem with what Billy Napier said. Let's go back to the text box. Vol Birmingham says he sounds like Butch Jones in those comments. I don't know about that. Butch said that it's not about the stars and it's about having 5-star hearts. That was way different than what Billy Napier said. He didn't make any excuses. Didn't talk about, the personality and all that. I just thought Billy was like, hey, man, we basically just got here. So won't be having any 4 or 5-star players right now. Colorado Vol says, my for what goes to Vic Fangio and Teddy Bridgewater for beating the Broncos last night. Teddy didn't have his best day. He did not have his best day at all. But Kansas City's they found their stuff on defense. Offensively, they're still a little off rhythm. Patrick's still throwing the ball in harm's way and things like that. But defensively has been the biggest change for Kansas City, and they're better right now. So, Denver, poor Denver. Let's see here. Big Orange 123 says, "What's up with Hatfield's minutes? Texas Tech get physical, and we're going to need him." Well, Hatfield only played 8 minutes in that game against Colorado. Didn't look like he had foul trouble or anything like that. Some games it's just not a good fit.
Well, they went to that small ball lineup as well with Josiah at the 4. BHH is already the third forward post player behind Folke and Olivier, so he's already going to be limited in that regard. And then you throw Josiah back into the mix, and when Rick decides to go Folke or Olivier at the 5 and Josiah at the 4, and then roll with Santi, Kennedy, and Powell or Zakai, like BHH is going to be the odd man out.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, sometimes you're going to be in those situations where you have a matchup advantage, like you just mentioned, going 4 out, 1 in. Sometimes you'll go up against a team where it's best to have 2 post players in because you have an advantage on the box, and that's going to take minutes away from a perimeter player. I mean, Uros only played 5 minutes. Hatfield played 8. Camwell only played 13 minutes. He only played 13 minutes, so he didn't play a lot either. Now Folke played a lot because he was running the 5, and like you just mentioned, Ben, the 4 out, 1 in was something that was really good for Tennessee, worked for Tennessee. So games change from, strategies change from game to game, and lineups do as well. Let's go back to the phones. Turkey Man. Good morning, Turkey Man. Then we got Triple O.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How we doing, guys?
Wonderful, wonderful. Hope you are too.
Doing good. Well, I'm glad I got in front of Triple O. I was going to congratulate him for that big win, and I was happy for him. His Lions come through, didn't they?
They finally won a game.
Yeah. I'm looking there. I'm watching on YouTube. We got a Tennessee checkerboard banner hanging over your head there in the showroom there. And I bet Triple O's got one hanging over. Got the win.
I'm sure he got the Detroit Lion one in his house. Yeah, that was a good win, man. It was right on time with everything that happened.
He deserves it.
In Michigan, man, it was right on time. So, happy for that that organization for providing a little bit of a distraction. What happened there with school shootings last week?
Oh yeah. But anyhow, I was gonna give a shout out for Triple O and on that regards. The other thing is what Georgia, who did they play out of the West?
Who they?
If you would not have
Arkansas.
Yes.
And who else? Who's there?
Auburn.
Auburn. So they didn't have to play Ole Miss. They didn't have to play the others. When we seen, I showed the game plan on how to take them out because Heupel had their defensive tackles seeking oxygen tent there, And I kind of seen a little bit of that take place, speeding up the offense from Alabama. So I don't know. I think we kind of showed that they could be beat if you just had the talent enough to do it. But anyhow, I'll let you go. I'm anxious to hear over there, Pro. Talk to you later.
See you, Turkey Man. Let's get to Triple O. Triple O. Good morning, sir.
Hey, I love you. Hey, good morning. I love you, Turkey Man. I love you, bro. So I want to give a shout out to all of y'all, who's rode with me through all the winlessness of this year. It's nice to finally have a win. Like you said, that was going to be the main thing I was going to say. I'm glad the whole state of Michigan showed out this weekend just to give them a break from the what happened because they dedicated the game to them, and I'm glad that they gave them a win. It's awesome. When I saw the post-game video, it had tears in my eyes. It's like I can't imagine my life without either one of my children. I have a 15 and a 14-year-old, so it just hits different when you have when you have your own kids and you realize that you might not have one. And may God bless the families in that community up there in Michigan. But overall, it was a good weekend. It's nice to know that the Lady Vols put Virginia Tech in their place to show, which side of Bristol is the best side of Bristol. So that happened too. So, Colorado is now known as Rocky Top High, not Rocky Mountain High. It's Rocky Top High. Get it straight, Colorado. The Appalachians is over the Rockies all day, every day. That's how we roll.
I have a question.
Yes, sir, Mr. Ben.
How does it feel, Triple O, to know that the Detroit Lions are on a winning streak and the Chicago Bears are on a losing streak?
I can't say nothing because his team swept my team, so I can't really talk. I ain't got no room to talk.
Yeah,
but
man,
put it like this, it's nice to,
you know what?
What? But you know what? It's nice. It's nice though to be not winless in December. It's nice to be undefeated starting December, and plus I hope they continue because this upcoming Sunday is Petty King's birthday. So I'm going to need a birthday win as well. I got one, but now I need a birthday win.
What day's your birthday?
I need the Sunday the 12th.
My wife's is the 11th.
And my brother's the 13th. So hey, celebrate our weekend. Your wife, me, and then my brother's on the 13th. It's going to be one of them happy weekends. That's awesome. I'm going to have to go on your Facebook and be like, happy birthday, Mrs. McKee.
You're the best, Triple O.
I do. I do. Matter of fact, I wish your mom happy birthday.
Because you're the
happy
best.
belated
That's
birthday
why.
to Mama McKee, too.
That's right. You're the best, Triple O. That's why.
See? I keep up with my number one fans. Now, I love you and your family, Ben, just like I love Swain and his family. I consider y'all family. Y'all not just friends, y'all family.
Swain's got a big birthday today, too.
Who?
What you mean, who? Or this weekend.
Yeah, my youngest birthday was yesterday.
Oh, well, I saw a post today.
So.
Oh, yeah. My youngest one turned 6 yesterday, so.
Well, happy belated birthday to the youngest member of the Swain clan.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
The wildest one, too.
But I'm just going to say, man, I appreciate y'all. Thank you for lifting the band that allow me to speak on the show. But before I'm going to go out here, I'm going to tell y'all seriously, I love y'all and I appreciate y'all. And I just hope everybody have a great Monday.
I like this Triple O, man. I like this Triple O.
I'm disappointed. I tossed him a softball, and he swung and missed.
He can't say anything.
Who swings and misses in adult softball?
How can he say anything? His team lost to my team twice.
We can ignore the more important facts on this day.
No, that's not the way it works. You can't throw shade if you got swept. And you have only won one game. You can't throw shade. I'm trying to say.
Y'all have already played twice this year?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I only remember the Thanksgiving one that I slept through.
Yeah, we all try to forget that game. Let's go to C-Mac. C-Mac was at the game, Tennessee, Colorado, over the weekend.
Urosh.
It's right, man. Taking pictures with
Good
Uros and
morning.
everybody, man. Good morning.
Good morning, y'all. Before I get into it, I just want to take the chance to say we love you, Triple O. We love you dearly, my big brother. Congratulations. Hell of a victory. Let's get another one. It is kind of weird that the Bears and the Lions, play so early. They should look at, probably splitting that up a little bit better, or not playing on Thanksgiving.
Well, there's only 5 games left, or so.
Yeah. Man, I want to also say thank you guys to, your peer pressuring tendencies that helped me get over my social anxieties about going to Boulder and witnessing an immaculate Saturday service with the deacon up there at CU, getting a chance to watch Tennessee men's basketball team play the Buffs. That was really exciting. A couple of takeaways from my viewing. Man, that Chandler kid is nice. He is really, really, really good. He was completely oblivious of taking 20 shots in that game, and he made it look extremely effortless, because I think it is to him. It's almost like second nature. As Swain pointed out, there's a couple of things about his game that he needs to clean up, definitely as we approach conference play and once they start getting into, that run towards March. But
what else say?
This team has a really great chance, a really good chance to turnovers and making better assists. This team has a really good chance to, make some noise in March. If that Powell kid could, hit some threes, I think this team could be a really, really, really hard out. It's going to be a really good game on the 18th. When you look at the talent, the young talent that's going to be on the court in Nashville, and I'm really excited to see how Chandler is going to play in that game.
He's on
really
Cook.
Quick, funny. It's going to be some really good competition.
He's on
So
Cook.
I want to give my little Kennedy Chandler story from the game, having a chance to meet some people.
Uros,
Deacon, C. Walker. All right, but having a chance to speak for a hot second with Kennedy Chandler, I go, hey man, Memphis kid, from another, from a dude from Memphis. He goes, oh yeah, what high school you go to? And this is a divisive, kind of thing. The second I told him, I'd spend a little time at Overton, he meandered to other fans. No, man, it was really, really great experience. Incredible game. Yeah, man, it was a hell of a weekend.
I'm glad you went, man. I'm glad you got a chance to experience that. I heard there was a nice little Tennessee presence there at the stadium or the arena.
Yes, it was. It was incredible to see how well Tennessee travels. It seems like it doesn't matter, where we're going to be at. We're always going to show up and show out, and that's something that's incredible about our fan base. So I hope all y'all really, show up and show out, in Nashville, not just on the 18th, but also, for that bowl game. So, man, y'all have a incredible Monday morning, and I'll holler at y'all a little bit later this week.
Sounds good, my friend. Thanks for the phone call. Let's get to Dave Toner.
Good morning.
Good morning, Dave Toner.
Who was the caller before the last caller? I don't recognize him.
Triple O. Better put some respect on his name.
He was in a good mood, man.
Well, I'll tell you what. How many games is left? 5?
Something like that.
I hope they go on 5 more weeks of winning. Dude sounds totally different. Sounds happy. Sounds excited. He wouldn't even take Mr. Instigator Ben's bait.
Wouldn't take it at
How
all.
about that Steelers game yesterday, Dave Toner?
What's up?
How about that Steelers win yesterday?
Yeah, change
Here we go, Steelers. Here we
See
go.
what they did there, Swain.
Steelers game was good, man.
Yeah.
Steelers look Better than their record last night.
Amazing what happens when everybody's back from injury and nobody has COVID. Amazing what a team looks like.
Yeah, they look.
I guess so.
They look good.
Are you in the bathroom?
No. Why are you always worried about guys in the bathroom?
Because
man?
you sound like you sound like you in the bathroom or something, man. It sounds pretty bad.
I'm restocking a paper towel in a dispenser.
Oh, okay.
Talk to us first.
Well, we appreciate you, Dave Turner, man. We'll talk to you tomorrow, man. Like, hey, you gotta focus. You gotta focus. 5-3-1, the Steelers. Hey, man, they look good, man. They look good. They look good last night for sure.
I thought they were 6-5-1.
No, I'm sorry. I'm looking at something different. I don't know why I'm looking at that. My bad. I'm tripping.
Look,
I'm looking at something.
They've got the Vikings on Thursday.
That should
who just lost to the Lions.
That should be a win.
Should. The problem is the Steelers are capable of beating anybody, but also
6-5.
losing to anybody.
6-5.
What?
I said 6-5. You're right. You said
so
you said amazing what happens when they have COVID and everybody's hurt. They was hurt and had COVID during those 5 L's. All of them?
No,
okay.
I didn't say that. But when they tied the Lions and had to play Mason Rudolph.
Oh yeah, they was hurt.
Yes, and when the entire defense was out and couldn't stop a nosebleed against the Chargers.
Stop a nosebleed.
Yes, and like to me, that is going to be the 2-game swing that prevents them from making the playoffs.
I agree with you.
But I'm hoping that you got the Vikings this week. You've got the Titans that are banged up the following Sunday. So hopefully we can get a little momentum going and find a way to grab that extra playoff spot this year.
Keep the momentum going for Big Orange Country, men's basketball, lady vol basketball, football, recruiting. Let's keep it going. Tennessee in a bowl game. And I love seeing the trash talk already from Tennessee fans and Purdue fans. This is what I love about bowl season. For Ben McKee, I'm Jason Swain, live here at Beatty Chevrolet. Over 150 vehicles in stock, lifetime warranty on most new and pre-owned vehicles. Never pay over MSRP for those new vehicles here at Beatty Chevrolet. They will trade for anything and buy your vehicle straight up. BeattyChevrolet.com. For Ben McKee, I'm Jason Swain. Swain Event fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Peace and love. We are out. Same time tomorrow.